He disappears into the crowd, leaving only the jingle of bells. I'll jingle his bells. Hello, and welcome to My Fiancé is a Fiend. This is a Yandere dark fantasy dating sim in which you wake up in a strange castle betrothed to a mysterious king. You have no memory of how you got here, and your wedding is in 2 days. Luckily, the king is nice and kind to you. However, he's not the only one who has his eyes on you. The castle's priest, the king's jester, the king's scribe, and also the king's most loyal knight have all set their sights on you. Which one will you choose? Let's get started. I have covered every single love interest route in this video, and if you guys want to see where each route starts, there are timestamps in the description box below, but I will also put the detail up in the upper right corner here. I am so excited for this game. Still asleep. Time to wake up. See you soon, my lady. I do love unhinged jester and court intrigue. You open your eyes. The stone walls around you are cold, and pale moonlight streams through tall windows. The spacious room smells fresh and slightly sweet. Silk sheets glide under your fingers, and everything looks too neat and expensive, like that Swedish furniture store. Okay, never mind. IKEA? This is definitely not my name. Was I robbed? Yeah, just the opposite. They brought a bunch of expensive things into my home and left me to sleep. Very sweet. You touch the fabric of the sheets. Soft and smooth, 100% silk. I can feel it even through a picture. Either I'm dreaming, or I'm sleeping very expensively. You don't have time to finish the thought. Two girls burst into the room and start bustling around you. Oh, the art's pretty, and it's rigged. Your Highness, you're awake. What a joy. Who? We were forbidden to wake you, but we're already late. Who am I? We don't know your name, but if you wish, we can call you Future Queen, or Royal Highness, or Lady. Milady, how else should we address the bride of our king? Perhaps you'd like us to call you by your name. What is your name? Yinny. Lady Yinny, you look magnificent today. And who are you? We were sent to attend to you. We are your maids. My name is Maria. And I am Eliza. We'll start with your hair. You look absolutely stunning. Yes, for our king to land such a beauty, it's a miracle given his appearance. Hey, quiet you. You can't talk about his highness like that. Why, is his highness ugly? Especially when there's another... Your highness? What? Thank you. Or not thank you? I don't know yet. Come on, they wouldn't have sent your highness without news of our king. That's right. Anyone who hasn't heard of our king is truly ignorant. Everyone knows him. Everyone. Yeah, exactly. Only I don't know. Maria leaned in conspiratorially and whispered. And even about the mask? Just don't laugh at the mask or else it'll be trouble. Where am I? I don't understand anything. Oh, your highness, the castle is huge. You'll get lost within the first week if we don't help. Don't worry, we have everything we need within these walls. Have I been isekai'd? Yes, the inner courtyard with bushes and flowers, such a beauty. And also a kitchen, library, armory, and chapel. And the forest, small but real, and several trees, moss and ferns. The king ordered it planted back in his grandmother's time. There are even squirrels there, grey ones but alive. A forest inside the castle, are you serious? Of course, the trees aren't taller than the roof, but it's still beautiful. During the day, they bring candles in so you can see. Luxury, of course. In another kingdom, they'd hang you for a single living leaf. And here we have a whole forest. Oh, that is an interesting lore tidbit. But it's better to explore the castle after the audience. Now we'll dress you, fix your hair, and straight to the king. And then you can see everything for yourself. The courtyard, the forest, the library, whatever you like. Okay, but one thing still bothers me. You keep saying during the day. Candles during the day, walking during the day. But it's night, isn't it? It's dark outside. Night? Your highness, are you joking? It's daytime. The day candles haven't even burned halfway down yet. Then why is it dark outside? The sun should be shining if it's day. Oh my god, the sun! Your highness, you have an excellent sense of humor. My grandmother also told me fairy tales about the sun when I was little. Where I come from, there was a sun. Every day. Almost. Good joke, your highness. I'm not joking. Time to get dressed, or the king will come check on you himself and he doesn't like to wait, or maybe he can wait a bit longer. Oh, what are we late for? I don't even have a toothbrush and you're already dragging me somewhere. Where else? An audience, the most important in the last 100 years. King Aurelian has returned from a distant campaign. For you, your highness, he hurried, even drove his horses to exhaustion. Aurelian. Sounds like a dragon's name from a cheap TV show. Hush, hush. You can't talk about him like that. He's the king. They say at 16 he crushed 3 armies, one with his bare hands. Probably lies. But he did execute many, those who stole from the treasury or plotted against him, straight to the scaffold without flinching. Under him, even the rats in the cellars behave themselves. They're afraid. Is he so fearsome that even you whisper? Of course, but they say he's fair too. If you're not a thief or a fool, he'll protect you. Oh, well, I'm shit out of luck. I'm a massive fool. But we've only seen him a couple of times. Always in a mask, and under the mask they whisper, scars or something. Are we very late? We are already half an hour late. The king doesn't like to wait. He doesn't like his time wasted at all. Last month he made a counselor kneel for 2 hours for being late. So, hurry up. I will comb your hair. Just don't interrupt the king and don't laugh at the mask, or else the scaffold, you know? The scaffold for laughing. Hush, fine, but let's go. But if I'm executed, I'll say you didn't warn me. We warned you, honestly, your highness, don't joke like that. Time to go. The maids gather you and you follow them through the dark, cold corridors of the castle. You follow the maids through the corridors. Oil lamps like torches hang on the walls. Who else lives in the castle, besides the king, you and me? Oh, lots of people. Courtiers, advisors, guards, servants, cooks, and stable hands. But there are a few personalities worth knowing about in advance, so you don't step on a rake. Besides the priest, there's also the king's personal guard, a jester, and a scribe. You decide to ask about the priest, Father Emphys. He's always in our chapel, the kindest, most modest, and loves children. He always gives a coin to the beggar, takes in orphans, children adore him, and he always has sweets for them in the chapel. But he has none of his own, never has. Maybe he devoted himself to the church, or maybe he just never found someone. Only, I remember him from when I was little, and my mother remembered him too. He hasn't changed a bit. He's still so young. Yes, and they say he even delivered the mother of our king. How many years ago was that? Maybe a saint, or just sleeps well and drinks mushroom brew. Or a vampire. Oh, that does sound logical. Vampires don't age after all. He transcribes old scrolls and never eats garlic, that's true. This is the part where I ask, are vampires real? Is it really true? And how is it that he's not afraid of holy water and crosses? Oh, that's all lies. He's definitely a vampire. It all adds up. Apparently just a vegetarian that doesn't eat people, that's a sin after all. The guard, Sir Lorkan, he is the king's personal guard. Always nearby, but so quiet you forget he exists. He very rarely takes off his helmet, only when wounded or when the king commands. The rest of the time, even at meals, he's in his helmet. I saw him without his helmet exactly once. He was wounded. The healer was taking it off, and there, a beautiful face, very light hair, sharp cheekbones, and his eyes are red. Bright red like fresh blood. I thought maybe it was a reflection of something. No, truly red. The healer says it's from an old injury, but who knows? Since then, he hasn't taken off his helmet in front of others. Maybe he's embarrassed by the red eyes or afraid he'll scare someone. So handsome and he hides his face. Oh, if only he'd show himself at a feast once. But all those old counts of warts are getting tiresome. I've only heard yes, no, and once move aside from him. When a clingy count pestered me, Lorkan just pushed him away with his hand like a doll. He's always near his highness, even standing guard at the door at night. As the flirting is hopeless. I tried talking to him, smiled, asked if he wasn't cold in that armor. He looked right through me, turned around and left. Sounds like someone I'd like. Rude. The jester. Now the jester. I heard he once bit off a count's fingernail during an argument, but that's unlikely. He's been in the castle, no one remembers how long. Old timers say he grew up in the castle. They remember him as a youth. Probably brought from some circus as a baby. He's huge. Oh, is he? You think a jester is small and funny, but now is taller than any knight. His shoulders as broad as can be. Oh, giddy. And at the same time, he juggles knives, walks on his hands up the stairs, does somersaults in a full cap with bells, and he's never fallen once, except he's gonna fall for me. Sharp tongue too. At every feast, he jokes about the lords, about how the minister stole, how the general was a coward, even jokes about the king's mask. And they do nothing. Anyone else would have been thrown in the dungeon, but Nail keeps performing. He has a dressing room backstage. Bells, bright costumes, wigs hang there. I once went in to clean. He started yelling out, "You ruin the costumes, ruin the act," and shoved me out by the scruff. No bed, no chair, just a chest of rags and a floor-length mirror. I looked in the mirror and there was no reflection. After all, I thought I imagined it, but I still get the chills remembering it. That's interesting. There's a lot of very interesting lore. Other servants tried to go in too. He throws everyone out. He says, "This is my workspace, don't intrude. I won't show my tricks." Maybe he trains there without witnesses. Where he goes to sleep is a mystery. Does he at least entertain at feasts? Oh yes, just be careful. Don't give him your hand to kiss, he might bite. I'm joking. Or am I? And don't agree to the rope trick. But what if I want to see the rope trick? Sounds kinda hot. I'll remember, don't play rope tricks with the jester. I'm gonna play rope tricks with the jester. Don't worry guys, I will not disappoint you. The Scribe Mortalis. Oh, what a hot name. He lives in the North Tower. keeps the chronicles. He doesn't have a left eye, an empty socket covered by a patch. Why it was put out, he stays silent. I once went up to him with scrolls. It's dark in the tower. Just one candle and he sits writing and smiles to himself, whispering. And on the walls hang drawings, not paintings but sketches. People with cut out tongues or children with claws, all sorts of horrors. I asked Master Mortalis, is this for your scary stories? And he says, these are my fantasies. Oh, and he said it so calmly, like he was talking about the weather. I couldn't sleep for a week afterwards, remembering it all. Can't he be thrown out or punished? He's the scribe. Without him, all the decrees will be garbled. Besides, he can be charming when he wants to. I'm excited to meet them. His speech is smooth, compliments that make ladies swoon. He's had affairs with half the ladies in waiting. At the same time, at that... What? One lady in waiting said he invited her to the tower to look at old maps, and there was wine, dried flowers, flower petals, and he himself without his eye patch, with an empty eye socket. She said it was terribly beautiful but scary as hell. I thought he was gonna say, and he himself without his clothes on. And not just with the ladies. Pages also complain or brag that Mortalis makes advances towards them. One ran away from him in tears, saying he sniffed me and said I smell of fear like his mother. Jesus! Another page, on the contrary, started going to the tower often and bringing coins home. So it's unclear, is he a lover or a victim? And one group swore he saw Mortalis kissing his own shadow in a corner at night and whispering something to it. In short, strange. Wow. So technically, does that mean if we date Mortalis, we get Mortalis himself and then Shadow Mortalis? I'd say this. Greet him politely and leave. Don't linger in his tower after the daylight candles burn out. Understood. Well, Mortalis is a strange one. Enough gossiping. And the king? You didn't ask about him? Well, he's probably formidable just in a mask. He doesn't linger long at feasts. He'll come, sit, look at the guests, talk to someone important and leave on business or to sleep. He rarely shows himself at night, and if he does, it's for business. And how would you know about the night? Were you eavesdropping at the door yourself? Well, rumors circulate that a certain maid goes to his chambers late. Who? My king? My husband? Only no one knows why. But we said nothing, your highness. Don't get the wrong idea. He's a serious man, has no time for foolishness. What else does he do besides important business with the maid at night? We're not supposed to gossip, your highness. And isn't this whole conversation gossip? And the maids pretend not to hear the question. And the maids lead you to a great hall with columns and a throne. They close the heavy wooden doors. You hear the click of their heels beyond the door and they are gone. Is anyone here? From the doors at the far end of the hall, two figures emerge. One is horned and tall, more like horny and tall. These doorways were ordinary size. Rather than enormous, the horned figure would likely have to stoop to pass through. The second figure looks diminutive compared to the horned one. Seems this person has long hair and a floor-length gown. Oh, is that the king? And this is the priest? Oh my god. Your Highness, Yinny, sorry for the delay. My name is Emphys. I'm a local priest. I'll be conducting the marriage rite for you and His Highness, King Aurelian. Please acquaint yourselves. I mean, Aurelian's kinda hot. I want to see what's behind the mask. You're pretty. King Aurelian. Yinny, forgive my rudeness. I'm weary and wish to hasten the preparations for the ritual. Ask the king how he's feeling. You say you were tired. Is everything alright? Was the road difficult? The road was a road. Mud, cold, and a few skirmishes with bandits. Nothing serious. Are you injured? Perhaps you should rest before the ceremony. Do not worry. I am merely tired. A few days in the saddle. Wears anyone out? A day or two and I will be myself again. He's so tall. His Highness has always been resilient, but since we are speaking of the ceremony, Your Highness, Yinny, we must discuss certain details. What details? The wedding will take place in the next 3 days. We'll have time to prepare. This evening a feast in honor of your arrival and the king's return. After the feast, just past midnight, an ancient ritual awaits you. Oh, great! Yeah, you know what? Ancient rituals always go well, huh? Nothing could possibly go wrong. What ritual? I will come to your chambers with a ritual knife. We will need to mix a little few drops of blood. A blood ritual? It does not hurt. Well, almost not at all. Through the slits of the mask you see his eyes. He is not joking. You come to my bedchamber with a knife after midnight, and that is meant to reassure me. Tradition, Your Highness. Many brides are frightened at first, but they grow accustomed. For now, let us discuss the decorations. We must choose a color for the ribbons and adornments. Ask Aurelian his favorite color. Ask Emphys his favorite the drama. Aurelian, what is your favorite color? Red, but you may choose whichever you like. Well, since you asked about his favorite color, His Highness prefers red. But the wedding is your celebration too, after all. I do not insist. Choose what pleases you, Yinny. For the first time, something warm creeps into his voice. Or is it just your imagination? I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of like digging Aurelian at the moment. He's so standoffish. We have 3 options for the hall's decoration and flowers. Red is traditional, the color of blood and life. Blue is a symbol of prosperity and purity. White is the color of life and the mother moon. We'll go with red. Red, since it's the king's favorite color, let it be so. I am grateful. That is my favorite color. Look at him blush. Oh my god. There's something about, like, you know, a king or like a CEO who's so stoic and put together, but then like one look at his beloved and he's just brought to his knees. Oh, I do love that trope. He inclines his head ever so slightly. An excellent choice. I shall give orders for the red rose garlands. And then the flowers are settled. In the evening there will be a feast. You can rest and meet the courtiers, and tonight expect King Aurelian in your chambers. I won't just expect King Aurelian, I'll anticipate King Aurelian. I'll be careful, I promise. Oh, no need. I'm not so delicate that you can't, you know, go absolute bang-a-lang on me. He looks at you again. Through the mask, emotions are hard to read. But something in his gaze has shifted. It has grown softer. Yay! Very well, I will wait. And for now, your highness, you may look around the castle and do not fear the night ritual. It is but a single drop of blood. I'll escort you to the doors. You need to rest until evening. He extends his hand. You take it. The palm in his gauntlet is cold, but his fingers close gently as if holding something fragile. Oh my god. Oh my god. I came in here kind of wanting the Jester, but you know, Aurelian's really like got me. I bet he could be so romantic. Beyond the large door is the throne room which he just left. There are 2 more passages on either side. Behind you, a corridor leads to the bedroom where the maids prepared you. Which way should I go? Ooh, let's save here. We'll go to the left first. A small forest has been planted here. A few dozen gnarled low trees reaching towards the sky with a pale moon. Behind the trunks, tall stone walls can be discerned. The forest is quite small, but it is quiet here and smells of damp bark. You take a few steps on the damp ground when you suddenly notice a figure in the shadow of an old oak. A man with a patch over his left eye, dressed in a green shirt, is sorting through some papers. Oh, the scribe! The slutty scribe. He lifts his head. Upon seeing you, he breaks into a light smile. Oh, hello. Oh, forgive me. I did not expect to meet a dear lady here. I am accustomed to being able to be alone in the corner of the castle, but your company is a pleasant surprise. Sorry, I did not wish to intrude. I was simply looking for a place without a crowd. Not at all. Allow me to introduce myself, Mortalis, the local chronicler. And you, dear lady, how should I address you? My name is Yinny. Yinny, an unusual name. Rare with a foreign flavor. But I like how it sounds, like a song you hear for the first time and can never forget. Alright, stop flirting with me. I can't be beholden to everyone in this game. I hope you don't mind the company. The forest is especially quiet tonight and I'm tired of scrolls. Yes, please. It wouldn't hurt me either to talk to someone. The scribe sits down beside you, on the trunk of a fallen tree, leaning back proprietarily. You probably notice how beautifully the moon shines tonight. He points upwards where a pale disk of the moon is visible through the sparse foliage. For all of us, it is the only beacon in the darkness. Romantic, don't you think? The moon like an eye watching us. Yes, it is unfamiliar to me. You look tired, dear lady. Has the day been long? Honestly, yes. The sleep was so-so, and I understand almost nothing about this place. Oh, the first day in the castle's always chaotic. But I know what can help. My tower is close by. I brew a decoction of dried herbs. It relaxes better than any prayer. Would you like to try it? I don't know about this. Alright. Well, we'll agree this time. Alright, I don't mind. Thank you. Excellent, let us go, but quietly. I do not want the servants to raise a fuss. Oh god. He leads you up a narrow staircase to the north tower, opening a creaking door and lets you inside. You better not try any funny business. The room is dimly lit by candles. Scrolls and books are everywhere. In the corner stands a narrow couch, and beside it, a couple of rolls of paper. Sit down, dear lady. I'll prepare a brew now. It works gently but quickly. The scribe fusses over the kettle, brewing something fragrant. A moment later, a clay mug with a dark green liquid sits before you. I'm scared. Drink it in small sips. Nothing terrible will happen. It better not! You take the first sip, bitter with a hint of smoke. It's not bad. The second sip is more bitter. The scribe notices your hesitation, sits down beside you on the edge of the couch. Is something wrong? Too strong? A bit bitter, but I like it. He does not move away. On the contrary, he leans a little closer, and in his single eye a soft, almost thoughtful light ignites. No, back away. I am to be married to the king. You know, Yinny, I rarely invite anyone to my place. The tower is my fortress. Okay, don't lie, you slut. Here I endure the long nights when in the castle only I alone am awake. Are you lonely? Loneliness is the usual price for intelligence, my dear. I write chronicles, compose frightening tales, but rarely does anyone come just to talk. Courtiers come for gossip. Servants for orders. No one comes to me just because. His fingers settle over your hand, squeezing gently, and you so readily agree to share a bit of time with me. I don't even know what you're seeking here, but to me it is pleasant. Your head grows heavy. You cannot answer anything and your head sinks into a fog. Oh no! The scribe moves even closer. Now his face is almost opposite yours, breathing right onto your lips. You know, when you sit in a tower for a long time, you start to forget what it's like to feel another's warmth, but you are like the moon tonight. Cold, yet somehow you draw me in. He runs his thumb across your palm, then intertwines your fingers. I could show you old scrolls, tell you stories no one has heard, or simply sit beside you in silence. His gaze drops to your lips. He hesitates a moment more and he will touch your lips. No, 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 no. But at that moment, the world swims. Heat spreads through your stomach and rises to your throat. Please, vomit on him. Don't. I feel ill. You pull back, but the dimness of the room begins to spin. You feel the floor slip away from under your feet and consciousness fades. Coming to, you realize you're lying on the couch, the scribe's worried face looming over you. Thank the gods you're alive. I was frightened. The brew never acted like that before. How are you? Head heavy. What was that? I don't trust you anymore. Just a relaxing brew, but I have given it to dozens of people. No one had such an effect. But wait. He sits across from you, peering intently. You said you don't understand this place well. Are you not from here? The brew has always been too strong for out-of-towners. Their bodies are unaccustomed to our brews. Yes, I am not from here. I don't know how I ended up here. I just woke up in the chambers, that's all. Woke up in the chambers? Yes, I am sort of the bride of the king. There was an audience today and... The scribe recoils. His face turns pale in the candlelight. The king's bride. So that's all who the fuss is about. Forgive me, dear lady, I did not know. Otherwise I would not have permitted myself this liberty with the brew and the invitation. Oh, you're so screwed now. It is alright, you could not have known. Usually courtiers do not follow me except for an interesting continuation. But you had better leave before anyone notices. Suddenly there's a knock at the door. The maid's voice from behind the door. Master Mortalis, the king has ordered for you to be at the feast today with parchment. You need to sketch the order of toasts and record the speeches. Yes, I'm coming. Tell them I'm on my way, don't come in. Everything here is covered in ink, you could get stained. The maid mutters something displeased and leaves. Footsteps fading away. Was she hoping for a tryst? It would be bad if they found out you're in my tower. Rumors would spread and I have no use for them. And you even less so. Let's return to the forest as if we just met. The scribe lingers by the door, not opening it immediately. He looks at you with unusual softness. You know, Yandere, I rarely feel so at ease with someone. Usually everyone wants something, or fears or suspects, but you simply are, and to me, that is pleasant. He looks away, then meets your eyes again. If you ever wish to escape the noise and courtly intrigues, my tower is always open to you. Come anytime. Come anytime? In what way? Bad! And do not worry. I will not tell anyone, not even the king. Especially the king. This will be our little secret. I would very much like you to come, because rarely does one meet with someone whom silence is as pleasant as speech. A brief pause hangs in the air. The scribe opens the door. You step out under the moon. A tense silence hangs in the air. You decide to ask your interlocutor about something. Ask about his eye. What about your eye? If it is not a secret. A long and very unpleasant story. Not for a first conversation, dear lady. I simply cannot tell it. But if you and I grow closer, perhaps I will change my mind. My tower is always open to you and I will tell no one. Not even the king. Especially the king. So a secret. A secret for a secret. You learn mine, I learn yours. Are you offering a barter? Don't be offended, I just love intrigue. A maid runs out of the castle. Master Mortalis, the king has ordered for you to be at the feast. You need to record the speeches. Come in. Forgive me, dear lady, I am being torn away from a pleasant conversation. It's nothing, I will go too. I will be glad to see you again, and do not worry. I know how to keep my mouth shut. He disappears behind the trees, and you remain alone in the forest. I think it is time for me to go to the feast as well. I hope everything will be alright. You barely finish speaking when two familiar maids appear from around the corner. I will definitely meet the jester. I'm gonna go back and pick all the other pathways as well when I finish this. Your Highness, there you are. We have been searching everywhere for you. The feast will begin soon, and you are not ready. The king will be displeased. They take you by the arms and lead you through the corridors to your chambers. In the room, a dress is already laid out on the bed. White and cream, made of heavy brocade embroidered with silver threads. King Aurelian sent it especially for you. He said this dress would accentuate your beauty. It's simply wonderful. Let's put it on at once. The maids help you remove your old clothes and don the new dress. fits perfectly as if tailored to your measurements. They slip long white gloves onto your hands reaching up to your elbows. You look like a true angel, your highness. The feast awaits. We'll escort you to the great hall. You feel the fabric softly envelop your body and a warmth spreads across your skin. The maids lead you to the doors of the banquet hall. The doors swing open and you see a magnificent hall filled with light and guests. And the great hall is large and noisy. Along the wall stand tables covered with a multitude of different dishes. How do they manage to make so much food? Shouldn't there be a shortage or something without sunlight? This shot is really pretty. But what strikes me the most is that Aurelian, sitting at the front, looks very lonely and almost disconnected from everyone. Because it's a little bit more lit up there. And everyone's shadowed. Obviously, like, you know, they're not going to draw every NPC here, but it's structured in such a way that your eyes immediately draw to him. Like, right in the center here, on the table are candles in metal candlesticks. It smells of roasted meat, mushrooms, and stale alcohol. Various people crowd around the tables, talking and glancing sidelong at you. Courtiers, it seems. You feel out of place. King Aurelian sits on the throne at the end in the hall. Before him is neither plate nor utensils, only a single gleaming cup. Maybe the food is poisoned. Or has he already eaten? The mask glitters, and under it you can't read their mood. Priest Emphys stands thoughtfully by the window holding a goblet. The scribe moves along the guests, jotting something down on the scrolls. A lone knight stands in the corner, arms crossed. He wears a helmet, apparently. He has no intention of feasting or eating. Standing entirely alone apart from the tables is a woman in a dark dress. She strokes a violet glass sphere, holding it in her hands. You feel a little sorry for her. Perhaps this woman is lonely. She lifts her head and you see her face peeking out from under the shadow of her hood. Though it is a bit hard to tell whether she is looking. At least one of her eyes is staring straight at you. I will approach the woman. You approach her and before you can speak she seizes your hand. Her fingers are cold and bony, her grip strong. A beautiful one, cross my palm with gold and I will tell you your future. You are not from here, I knew it at once. How do you know? You smell different, fresh, not like a rot. She traces a nail over your palm, muttering something under her breath. I see. You are not walking here alone. A shadow follows you, big and hungry. What shadow? A big one. And it too is not from these parts, but it follows you. On your heels, on your heels, on your heels. I don't understand. She will take you with her if you give her the light inside you. She lifts her head, looks you straight in the eye. At least one eye is looking straight at you. She waits. She waits for you to give her the light. I can help. I can take your light myself and the shadow won't get it. What? The shadow is hungry and I am hungry. She freezes and begins to snarl, like a wild dog bearing yellow teeth. She is here right now, looking at you and licking her lips. The woman digs her nails into your hand. Enough! Let go! You asked for it yourself, girl. Do not call upon what you cannot banish. What are you talking about? No one called for anyone, let me go! She yanks your hand sharply. The sphere slips over her head and shatters into pieces. I won't give it up, the wretch. Give it! Give it to me. Some of the shards dig into your hand, and the woman's nail drove the splinters deeper into your palm. Let me go! Help! Someone! The shadow will take you if you don't give me the light. Come on, give it to me since you don't need it. Why is no one helping me? The fortune teller is surrounded by guards. Oh my god! She screams at the top of her lungs. Not on my life, I won't give it. Give me the light, I'll cut it from your guts and eat it. The guards drag the screaming woman out of the hall. Cold fingers release your palm. The sever-clenched hand of the madwoman fell at your feet. The blood drains from your face and your throat goes dry. People crowd around you, curious about all the commotion. Several maids begin gathering the shards of the sphere, scurrying at your feet. The two familiar maids are already scurrying around, checking you for scratches. Your Highness, are you alright? Now, I'll take care of everything, don't be afraid. The maid rebandages your hand and puts the white brocade gloves over the bandaged hands. A couple of drops of blood seep through the fabric. Yinny, it will get easier now, you need to eat. I need to sit down, I feel unwell. Yes, your majesty, it will get better soon. You haven't eaten since morning and now this. You need to eat urgently and you must drink too, you've lost quite a bit of blood. Yes, tonight there's that, a little blood will be needed there too. One of the maids holds out a tray to you, on it are a goblet and a bowl. I'm having suspicions here. You know how when you go to a realm that doesn't quite belong to you? And a way to get you to stay is to get you to consume the food and drink there? I'm really worried that this is kind of like that. A goblet with a dark liquid and a sharp smell. Seems like wine. From the bowl comes the scent of something stewed. Can't tell what it is, but it smells delicious. We did already drink the brew from Mortalis though. Refuse? Oh god. I want to refuse. I want to sit with the king. Oh, suit yourself, the stew is very good. And how would you know? While I was in the kitchen overseeing the cooking, it turned out very delicious. You could have called me too. When I got the wine from the cellar, I was the first to run over. But when it comes to calling to the kitchen, one of the maids tugs at the other's sleeve. She looks worried. Quiet you, someone might hear. Hear what? Your Majesty, don't get the wrong idea. We were just tasting them for you. Who knows if someone might have slipped something in. Yes, we checked everything. I personally checked several times. It's all clean. If you change your mind, be sure to try it. Only the last glass of this wine remains. Looks like you tasted it all. Hey, I called for you just didn't call me to the kitchen. They begin to drift further away, still arguing. The maids quickly disappear from your sight. Probably went up to taste more dishes. The feast continues. The guests are gradually breaking off into small groups. Some are dancing and some are drinking to the king's health. Others gossip in the corners. You look around, the hall is just as loud and stuffy as before. After what happened, you want to clear your head. Talk to someone who isn't looking at you like a curiosity. Ooh, I think if I walk around the hall, I encounter the jester. Alright, but let's speak with the king first. We'll definitely do all of these though. Speak with the king. You approach the king who sits alone at the center of the table. There are no plates near him, only a goblet with a dark liquid that he twirls in his hands. Upon seeing you, he pushes back the chair behind him and gestures for you to sit. Please, sit down. Forgive me for all this chaos. We have not had time to get to know each other better. You are still troubled by the absence of a plate before him. The table's grown with food, but the king apparently does not intend to eat anything. Why are you not eating anything? He turns towards you so that you may hear him more easily through his mask. Oh, I am not hungry, and besides, it is problematic for me. Right, the mask. You are asking about it. After thinking a moment, he replies, Yes, about the mask. I cannot take it off. I want to be caring. You look very tired. When was the last time you rested? Rest, I do not remember. Affairs, worries, wars, and now a wedding as well, but this is important. Important enough that you are willing to sacrifice sleep. Sometimes one must sacrifice the small for the great. I hope you will understand me someday. I saw what happened with you and that woman. Were you hurt? His gaze falls upon your gloved hand with the crimson stain showing through. A small scratch. The maids have already bandaged it. It is fine. Good. I will have fresh bandages brought to you and an ointment from my personal physician. Thank you, Aurelian. There is no need to worry so much. There is. You are no longer just a guest. You are my family. That woman, she was dangerous. But her words. Sometimes madmen can see what is hidden. Be careful, you need. Do you believe what she said about the shadow? I believe there is something more behind every person. The shadow is not always evil. Sometimes it is a past that will not let go. That's interesting. Her voice becomes quieter, as if he is speaking to himself. Are you speaking of yourself? Perhaps, but now is not the time for such confessions. How are you feeling after all this? I was worried. I'm better already, and you? You look as if you have not slept for days. Haven't slept. Good sleep is unheard of. A luxury, even for a king. But that does not matter. The main thing is that you are safe. You need to take care of yourself. Who then will rule the kingdom? The kingdom will survive my sleeplessness, but if I lose you, forgive me. I should not have said that. Why? Are you afraid of appearing weak? Weakness is also a luxury for a king. But with you, I somehow forget that. Have you already made the acquaintance of any more of my close associates? With the Scribe Mortalis. Mortalis. He is not a bad man, clever and well-read. I love listening to his tales. But sometimes I do not understand his actions. I do not understand why he can be so cold, given his fiery nature. How did he end up at court at all? It was my father's will. He insisted I take Mortalis on as a scribe. I did not know why, but I trusted his word. There were evidently reasons. You do not trust him. I do trust him. I feel a certain unease. As if he knows something about me that I do not know myself. Do you know what happened to his eye? Why does he wear a bandage? I have no idea. He is silent on the matter. I do not ask. Everyone has their own pain. Perhaps someday he will tell, or perhaps not. Do you think he dislikes you? No, rather simply observes. Perhaps he seeks answers to his own questions. I do not interfere. Have you spoken with him about it? No, I see no point. Everyone has a right to their secrets. Perhaps it is that you did not live up to his expectations. Expectations? What expectations? I promised him nothing. If my father promised him something, that is his affair, not mine. Yet you feel his disappointment. Sometimes, but I cannot please everyone. I simply do what I believe is right. I am speaking very openly to the king. How am I here? What will become of me after the wedding? First you'll perform the night ritual, then preparations for the ceremony. And what comes after, only time will tell. But I will do everything to keep you safe. In safety from whom? From those who do not wish for this kingdom to find hope. Ask no more, I beg you. The king falls silent, looking off to the side, then he returns to you. It is too loud and crowded here. I would like to speak to you alone if you do not mind. We can go out onto the balcony or into the garden. No one will disturb us there. Okay, Alright, sure. Let's take a walk with the king. You nod and the king rises. He offers you his hand and you leave the noisy hall. You walk through the empty corridors until you find yourself on a balcony overlooking the castle gardens. It is quiet here, only the sound of the night rustling below. Forgive the secrecy, but I rarely can speak heart to heart. Too many ears. I know you want to ask how you ended up here. I searched for you for a long time, many years. But why? I don't even know you. I sought a companion. I sought someone who would accept this world and help me change it. Help how? By your presence, by your gaze, you are not afraid to ask questions. And that is worth a great deal. There is a special light in you that will help me in many ways. I still don't understand why you chose me. Because you seek no advantage. Everyone else saw the crown in me. They wanted power, protection, and wealth. As for you, there's simply nothing you can take from me in return. You already have what they seek, the right to be yourself. You need me more than I need you. That is the main difference. And I did not consent. Why claim otherwise? I know, and it torments me more than you'll think. I don't want you to feel trapped, but I hope that in time you'll understand that I don't wish to coerce you. I want you to stay of your own free will. And what if I don't stay? Then I will accept your choice. But I will do everything so that you do not wish to leave. You see in the castle, the feast, the courtiers. But beyond the castle walls, there is another life. People starve, wage war, and die of disease. I want to change that. And so you wage war. I wage war to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Our neighbors see weakness in us and want to take our lands. If I'm not harsh, they will trample everyone. But war only brings death and destruction. Sometimes it is the only way to stop evil. I do not love war, but I love my people. If I must shed blood to save thousands, I will do it. You're right. Sometimes harshness is necessary. You share that thought. Usually I am accused of cruelty. Thank you for understanding. But isn't it hard for you to make such decisions? It is difficult. Every time I give an order, I will, but if I allow myself to doubt, those who cannot protect themselves will suffer. There's gonna be so much replayability, I feel, because we already have to go back and explore the different routes and talk to different people at the banquet. And this is so exciting. It is difficult. Every time I give an order, I feel it. But if I allow myself to doubt, those who cannot protect themselves will suffer. You don't allow yourself weakness. I cannot afford that. Too many depend on me, but with you I can be honest, even if it looks like weakness. Well, sometimes being honest is strength. To rule means to take responsibility for every decision. Sometimes one must sacrifice the small for the great. But I always strive to be just. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't really think I could ever rule something and just make decisions for the fate of thousands of people. To rule means to take responsibility for every decision. Sometimes one must sacrifice the small for the great, but I always strive to be just. And how do you determine what is fair and what is not? I listen, both to advisors and common folk, but the final word is always mine. It is hard. Shut up, Yiddy. But it cannot be otherwise. And when if you're wrong, then I correct the mistake and remember the lesson. The important thing is not to repeat mistakes. I think you are too hard on yourself. Someone has to be stern. Otherwise I would lose my way. But you are human too. Yes, but sometimes I forget. Don't you think you have the right to be weak? At least sometimes. Perhaps, but I don't know how to allow myself weakness. For too long I have only been a king. Try it. At least today. Here, with me. I will try. With you. The blush is so cute. Thank you for listening. I rarely have the chance to speak so openly. I enjoyed talking with you as well. We should return now, otherwise questions will begin. Really? I mean, we're to be married? You return to the hall. The feast continues. But you notice the guests whispering and glancing around. The jester is not in the hall. One of the courtiers approaches the king. Your Majesty, we await Nail's performance, but he is nowhere to be found. I cancelled today's performance. The jester is preparing a number for the wedding. Let everyone continue to enjoy themselves. The courtier bows and withdraws. The king turns to you and speaks quietly. I wanted this evening to be memorable for you, not only for the jokes. I hope you don't mind. No. Aurelian, thank you. He nods and returns to his seat. The feast draws to a close. A tall knight in full armor, with his visor lowered, approaches you. He stops 2 meters away. Oh, is this a knight? Yeah, it is. Your Highness, I'm Lorkan, the king's personal guard. Forgive me for not introducing myself sooner. He takes a step closer. I'm always on duty. Alright. The knight slightly inclines his head as a sign of respect. I'm ready to serve you as I serve the king. Good night, Your Highness. He steps back into the shadows. Oh, hello. Oh my god, he's so pretty. I do love a spicy looking jester. I really like the design of this one. I love the colors and the hair. A figure in a motley cap emerges from behind the guest's backs. The jester approaches, deftly juggling 3 apples. I'll let him juggle my apples, if you know what I mean. And here is our main star. I am Nail, the court jester. He catches the apples and bows with a theatrical flourish. I heard you spoke much with the courtiers today. But you have not yet spoken with me. That is an oversight, for I know all the secrets of this castle. He winks. If you ever wish to laugh or learn something the walls keep silent, call for me. I'm always happy to toil for the Lord's amusement. Certainly now, I feel that with you it is never dull. Bored, never with me. But now I must go. I need to hide these apples from the cooks before they find them. Until we meet again, your highness. He disappears into the crowd, leaving only the jingle of bells. I'll jingle his bells. The feast is slowly winding down. The guests begin to disperse. Some say their goodbyes. Others already make their way to the exit with unsteady steps. Outside the windows, the sound of hooves and creaking wheels is heard. Servants have arrived for their masters. The candles burn low, leaving long shadows on the walls. You feel a slight weariness and a small tremor after what you've been through. The maids who helped you this morning approach you and gently take you by the arms. Your highness, it is time for you to rest. We will escort you to your chambers. The nightly ritual is soon, but you have time to catch your breath. Thank you. I feel today has been too much. You walk through the empty hall. Past tables where half-empty goblets and forgotten napkins sit still. The air smells of wine, wax, and wilting roses. You step out into the corridor. In the distance, you hear the voices of departing guests and laughter. The castle walls seem even taller and darker than this morning. When you reach the doors to your chambers, the maids release you. We will be nearby if you need anything. For now, rest. Soon the nightly ritual awaits you. We will come for you when the time comes. You are left alone in the silence of the chambers. Outside the window, a black sky stretches, and only one moon lights the castle garden. And you sit in the silence of your chambers. The candle on the table is burning low, casting trembling shadows on the walls. The day was long. You replay faces, voices, and words in your mind. So much has happened. But among all these faces, one surfaces the most often. King Aurelian. His mask, his weary voice, his cautious gestures. He spoke to you not as a subject, but as someone he was ready to trust. You feel that behind his coldness lies something more, perhaps fear, perhaps hope, and you don't know what to do with this feeling. His words about searching for you for years won't leave your mind. What if he truly believes that you can change something? You sigh, pushing the thoughts away. Too many questions, too few answers. Suddenly there's a soft knock at the door, and you lift your head. Your highness, you are not asleep. You open the door. On the threshold stands the same maid who helped you this morning. Come in. What happened? We were ordered to give you this. She holds out a folded sheet of parchment sealed with wax bearing the royal crest. You take the letter, unfold it, and read. Yandere, I am cancelling tonight's ritual. You are too tired, and I do not wish our first night to be marred by coercion. Rest. Tomorrow, everything will be different. Your Aurelian. Oh my god, my Aurelian? So cute. You read the letter twice. It says nothing of reason, only of your fatigue. But you feel there's more to it than that. The king is hiding something. He cancelled the ritual. Yes, your highness. His highness ordered us to tell you that you should get a good night's rest. We can bring you warm milk or a herbal brew if you wish. No, thank you. I think I'll just sit a while longer. The maids exchange glances but nod. We'll leave you then. If you need anything, call. They leave, closing the door behind them. You look at the letter again, your thoughts are tangled. The ritual is postponed tomorrow, but what will change by tomorrow? You feel a strange relief and anxiety at the same time. The king clearly didn't want to speak of the real reason. What is he planning? You lie down on the bed trying to sleep, but sleep won't come. Too many questions, too many faces. You feel drawn into the castle corridors where it is quiet and dark. Perhaps there you'll find answers. You stand, throw on your cloak and step into the corridor. The moon shines through the tall windows, its light tracing long shadows on the stone flags. You walk forward, not knowing exactly where. But the shadows beckon you onwards. To the left, a passage to the throne room and bedroom. Straight ahead, a dark staircase descending. To the right, another door. Where should I go? Ooh, wait, there's so many options. Let's head out this way first. In the courtyard. To the left, a passage emitting light. In the far left corner, a small door. Ahead to the right, another door with 2 leaves. Which way? God, there's so many possibilities. I'll go in here first. You walk down the left corridor and notice a door with steam and a faint light seeping from beneath it. Strangely, the door is ajar, and you hear footsteps. Suddenly, a maid runs out, adjusting her dress. Seeing you, she pales and quickly vanishes into the darkness. You look at the door. Inside, it seems it is a hammam. Steam billows and you hear the splash of water. Wait, was someone having relations? After today, you could do it washing away the fatigue. You decide to enter. Inside it is truly hot. Steam blurs your vision and you notice a silhouette of a man sitting on a marble bench. It is King Aurelian. Aurelian, were you boinking people behind my back? He sits covered in white cloth, his face hidden by white fabric and a mask. Your Majesty! Wow. He turns to you, and you see his eyes widen in surprise through the slits of his mask. You sit down opposite him, and your clothes have absorbed the steam, growing heavier. You are here. I did not expect to see you. I did not expect to see you. Looks down. Wow, he's a lot more muscular than I thought. I did not expect to find you here either, and the maid. What was she doing? You say it too harshly, and you realize it yourself. Somewhere inside you, a strange, almost painful feeling stirs. It burns somewhere beneath your ribs when you think this girl might have touched him, seen him without his mask or more. You don't understand what it is, but it won't leave you in peace. It is her work, nothing to be concerned about. Aurelian! You're supposed to be honest with me. And why did you cancel the ritual? You said I should rest, but perhaps you had other reasons. Your voice sounds colder than you intended. You catch yourself clutching the edge of a cloak. I did not lie to you. You were truly tired, yes, but there is another reason. My wounds, they require attention. I did not want you to see me like this. He lowers his head slightly and you notice how tense his shoulders are. So you cancelled the ritual to secretly meet with the maid, or to hide your wounds. I don't understand. You feel that strange feeling inside you grow sharper. You almost hate yourself for this jealousy, for you have no right to it. I'm not meeting with the maid. She is merely doing her work, but if it displeases you, I can stop. But then I would ask you to do it in her stead. He lifts his head to you and his voice grows quieter. We are nearly spouses after all. I see nothing strange in you caring for me. Or are you afraid? His words fall to the silence and you feel the heat spreading not only from the steam. I'm not afraid. But why did you not tell me the truth at once? Because I did not wish to frighten you, and because I did not know how you would react. But now I see you are calmer than I thought. I will help you, but only if you are honest with me. Honesty, I will try. But there are things I cannot speak of. Just know that I do not wish to deceive you. I will remember your words. He nods and you see his gaze soften. He extends his hand and touches your palm, resting on the edge of the bench. Your hand is trembling. Are you nervous? You feel his touch damp, hot, and you can't find the words. A tense silence falls and the king looks away. I understand that it is difficult for you to trust me, but I truly want you to be part of my life, perhaps even more than I want to be your spouse. What do you mean? I want you to be my friend, my advisor, someone who sees the real me, not the king, but the man. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing the man right now. He lifts his hand and you notice his hand reaching for his mask. I cannot remove it now, but I promise that one day you will see my face. I trust you and I will help you with your wounds. Thank you. You have no idea what this means to me. I see that you are suffering. Perhaps you should rest more. Rest. I cannot afford the luxury of resting, but with you I feel I can relax a little. He leans closer and you catch the scent of herbs and hot water. Your presence calms me, I do not know why. I'm staring. Aurelian sits before you and you feel his closeness. Steam envelops his body and you notice water trailing down his shoulders and chest, disappearing beneath the cloth. He looks at you and there's something in that gaze that steals your breath. I do not wish to rush you, but know that I will wait for you. And I hope that one day you will trust me as I trust you. His voice drops lower. And if you ever wish to touch my wounds, not the physical ones, but those within, I will open myself to you, but only you. You feel his words sink deep, leaving a mark you'll not be able to forget. I will think over your words. That's all I ask. Now go. You need to rest. The morning will be difficult. He rises slowly, turns and walks deeper into the hammam, leaving you alone with the steam. You step out feeling your heart beat faster. A strange feeling still burns in your chest, but now it's mixed with something new. Warm and frightening all at once. Fatigue weighs on your shoulders, but sleep won't come. You approach the window to breathe the night air and suddenly you hear voices. Quiet and muffled, they drift up from below. You cautiously peer around and see two figures in the shadow of the wall. It will all be ready in 2 days at the wedding. Are you sure no one will interfere? No one. In the commotion, no one will notice a thing. And the king's new toy. I'm the toy. The role doesn't matter. The main thing is that everything goes smoothly. Killing will be easier in the chaos all at once. Otherwise there will be no end of trouble. And then it's decided, either us or them. You're gonna kill my Aurelian. Your heart skips a beat. They're talking at the wedding about someone dying. But who? The king, you, one of the courtiers. You don't know when it scares you more than if they are named a name. You hear one of them snicker. It will all be decided soon. Jump out the window and try and catch them. You don't hesitate, you throw open the window and jump down. The ground meets you too quickly. You hear a crack, your foot twists and sharp pain shoots through your body. You fall to your knees, unable to stand. The conspirators turn around, one of them steps closer. He sits on top of you so you can't crawl away. The conspirator raises a dagger over you. Forgive me, your highness. I do not wish for you to come to harm. Wait, the green eyes. But I cannot allow you to interfere. Farewell. You don't have time to scream. Well, you cannot understand why you ended up here. Your death was in vain. And everything disappears. Damn! Alright, let's go back. Stay and try to hear more. You freeze, trying not to breathe, but the voices grow quieter. Tomorrow at dawn in the chapel, and not a word to anyone. They vanish into the darkness, you hear only fading footsteps. You jump back from the window, your heart is pounding. They were talking about a murder at the wedding. You know you should do something, but you don't know what. Tell the king? Suddenly you hear a sound at the window, someone is climbing the wall. You freeze. Could it be one of them? Might be the jester. You grab the candlestick, ready to defend yourself. Strike when the head appears in the window. You raise the candlestick and strike the emerging head with all your might. A dull thud and a groan rings out. The man falls to the floor, clutching his head. You look at him and freeze. Oh no, I'm so sorry. King Aurelian sits on the floor, clutching his head. His mask is slightly askew. I did not expect such a warm reception, Yandere, but I admit that bursting in through the window without warning was rash. He rises slowly, adjusting his mask. Forgive me for startling you. I ought to have knocked, or at least announced myself. What are you doing here, Aurelian? And how did you even find my chambers? I know every passage in the castle, including the one that leads to your bedchamber, and I came because I had to ensure that you were safe. He sits on the edge of the bed and looks at you with worry. The king falls silent for a moment and his voice turns gentler. I wish to apologize for today. I know it all turned out strange and confusing for you. You called off the ritual, why? I had a foreboding. Something inside told me that tonight was not the right night for this. He looks at you and his eyes behind the mask grow warm. I wanted to ensure you were alright. I worry for you. I'm sorry that everything is so tangled. I promise I'll explain everything later, but not now. Whether the conspirators are someone close to him or even him himself, I don't know who to trust. Should I even tell him what happened? Yeah, I will tell him. I heard voices outside the window. They said someone would die at the wedding. Are you certain? Perhaps you're simply overwrought from today's events. I heard it clearly. They spoke of tomorrow. I don't know what they spoke of, but the wedding cannot be postponed. Everything is already prepared and we cannot give in to fear. Trust the king. I'm glad that you trust me. I know it all seems strange, but I do not wish to deceive you. He steps closer and his voice grows quieter. I do not understand my own feelings, but I am accustomed to controlling everything, to being certain in every step. But with you, I lose control. He sits down beside you on the edge of the bed and you feel his closeness and he smells of warmth. You are not merely a person I chose for the ritual. You make me feel alive. I've not felt this in many years. His hand touches your cheek slowly, almost timidly. His fingers tremble and you feel him holding his breath. I wish to be honest with you, but I do not know how. I fear that if I open up, you will turn away. But if I remain silent, I will lose your trust. You feel your heart begin to race. The room grows hot despite the chill of the night. Aurelian, what do you wish to tell me? I want to say that I cannot stop thinking of you. When you smile, it seems to be that even the darkness around us grows brighter. He leans in and you feel his breath on your skin. The mask nearly brushes your face and you see his eyes through the slits. I want to know what you feel for me. I don't know, I am confused. You frighten me, but I feel that you do not wish to harm me. He gently pushes you onto the... What? And you fall against the soft pillows. He leans over you, propped on his hands, and you feel his warmth. I do not wish to frighten you. I want you to feel safe. But when I am near you, I forget all masks. His fingers glide along your arm, pausing at your wrist where your pulse beats. Do you feel it? Your heart beats as fiercely as mine. The room grows hard to breathe in. I do not know what will happen after the wedding, but I know that I want you to stay. His voice grows almost pleading. I feel that tomorrow will change everything. I feel that I will lose you before I have even had the chance to know you fully. He stills and his brow touches yours. The mask is cold, but his breath is hot. May I stay with you? Just for a few minutes, I wish to remember this moment. You feel his fingers tighten, yet there is no pain in it. Only desperation and tenderness. Aurelian, I don't know what to say. Say nothing. Just be here. For a few moments, he simply looks at you and you feel his breathing grow deeper. His lips draw near your neck and you feel his warmth, but he stops stilling. He closes his eyes and slowly draws back. Forgive me, I should not have done that. You are not ready and I have no right to demand more of you. You can stay. He sits on the bed and gazes out the window. His shoulders sag. I take too many liberties. You deserve more than a king in a mask. He refused to remove it even before those he holds dear. You see him gripping the edge of the bedsheet and you feel the silence filled with his inner struggle. I do not want you to leave. I must. Tomorrow will be a difficult day. I do not want you to think that I am using you. I simply want you to know that I would never harm you. He rises and makes his way to the window. I will return. When it is all over, I will return and I will tell you everything. He's already on the windowsill when you hear his voice. Good night, Yandere. May you dream of bright things. I really hope we don't lose him. He vanishes into the night, leaving you alone. You lie there, your heart still racing, his touch burning upon your skin. You close your eyes and his face rises before you, hidden behind a mask yet so vivid. You do not know what tomorrow will bring, but you feel that this night has changed something between you. You fall asleep feeling his warmth upon your lips. Your final thought before sleep, that this day has changed everything. You fall asleep, feeling that tomorrow will be even harder. Oh my god, okay, we have to go back and get the other scenes for sure. We still haven't met the Jester yet, but this time let's promise we won't tell anyone. You lower the candlestick and pray. I saw and heard nothing. If you do not harm me, I will keep your secret. A quiet laugh comes from the darkness. I knew you wouldn't betray me. In the moonlight, you see a familiar face. And there he is. He steps closer and a faint smirk colors his voice. I confess, I did not expect this. What are you doing here, Aurelian? How'd you even find my chambers? Alright, this is all the same, but this time we'll ask for more details about what will happen at the wedding. Tell me more about the wedding day. What exactly will take place? Everything is proceeding as planned. In the morning, preparations and the ceremony in the chapel. A small feast, nothing out of the ordinary. When I feel you are hiding something, I have a right to know. I'm hiding nothing. Everything is already prepared. There is nothing to worry about. Then why are you so evasive? Perhaps we should postpone the wedding. No, it cannot be postponed. I understand your unease, but it is necessary. Trust the king. What if we do not trust him? I do not believe you. You are hiding something. I cannot postpone the wedding. There is no choice. There is always a choice, or are you threatening me? The king stills and his voice softens. I'm not threatening. I'm only trying to protect you. And I understand that I appear a tyrant. He sits beside you and takes your hand. I do not want you to fear me. I do this for you. You feel his warmth, but the distrust remains. I understand that this is hard for you, but tomorrow everything will change, I promise. He rises and makes his way to the window. Rest. You need to gather your strength. He leaves as quietly as he came. You're left alone with yourself, pondering his words. There was something sincere in them, yet a shadow of doubt still lingers. Exhaustion claims you and you sink into sleep. Alright, well, back to the other parts. Alright, let's start this again. Put our name in as Yinny, because this time we are going to do the Jester's route. Okay, now that we've finished talking to the king, let's go this way. You wander the castle corridors. One of the passages near the throne room led to a small door. It was slightly ajar and smell of wax and dust drifted out. You step inside. The room is cramped, a wardrobe with its door slightly ajar. Burlap mannequins and a huge mirror in a worn frame draped with a velvet curtain. It only reflects objects, no bed, no chair. This appears to be the Jester's dressing room. Ooh! Suddenly the door behind you slams shut with a crash. You turn around. In the doorway stands a tall man in a cap with bells. He's taller than the doorframe. Hello? Well, well. Who allowed you to enter my dressing room? Sorry, the door was open. I didn't know that. He's so handsome. I love his design. Didn't know, of course. All these highnesses always stick their noses where they're not wanted. Do you even understand that you can't just barge in here even on servants? Or do you not care? He takes a step forward and you instinctively retreat until your back is against the wall. And what am I to do with you now, your highness? I'll have to teach you a lesson while you were still merely a guest. Oh, the teeth? They're sharp. I didn't touch anything, I just looked. I was looking. And what if there had been something improper, indecent in here? It doesn't matter anymore anyway. You shouldn't have come here. He almost comes close enough to touch, bracing his hands against the wall on either side of your head. Listen, I really didn't mean to intrude. I'll go, I'll just... Nothing is ever just, your highness. Now you'll be trailing around everywhere and getting underfoot. This is disorder. Oh, hello. But I didn't realize this was a window. I thought he just had like some white fabric there, but... Jeez. He leans in so that the cap with the bells almost touches your forehead. Listen here. I could tell the king that you visited my little room right after your audience. And that way we're, let's say, amusing ourselves in here. And how do you think he'll react? Hey! That's not true. True or false, what difference does it make? Rumors spread faster than rats in a cellar. And I know how to embellish a story. His fingers close around your wrist and grip it tightly. What are you gonna do? The jester freezes. His gaze travels across your face, lingers on your lips, and returns to your eyes. You truly wish to know. Stay silent and don't move. Oh, it seems you're in no hurry. Well then, a mistake, your highness. A big mistake. His other hand settles on your waist, pulling you closer. Oh, do you think I'm joking? But I'll chat pleasantly about the weather. How's the weather up there? Pretty wet, huh? His voice drops lower. Here in this little room, no one will hear your screams. Or on the contrary, they'll hear them very well. Why are you blushing when you say that? You freak. But also, you freak. I do be very into it. His fingers tighten. You feel his breath on your cheek. You're bluffing. Shall we test that? He moves his hand from your waist to your lower back and presses you harder against his body. How reckless you are. He releases your wrist. Your body breaks out in goosebumps under his palm. His fingers clench harder and die so hard it hurts, and you let out an involuntary cry. Oh, I can read your thoughts. Shame on you, your highness. No, I don't have any thoughts. I do, impure ones. His hand slides from your lower back further down and your body flinches. The jester's face is very close to yours and you feel the warmth of his body. You lie, your highness. I can feel you trembling. You want me to be even more insistent, don't you? You feel hot. I didn't expect the king to choose such a lovely creature for himself. It would be a shame if he were the first to taste you, but we won't allow that, will we? You take too much upon yourself. Maybe, but I'm not afraid to take. Especially when such a treat is before me. Don't worry, I'm not afraid to take either, bends over. You're insolent. Boldness is a second happiness. Remember that. He suddenly presses you firmly against him. You feel his entire body trembling with tension. I can't. What's wrong? I don't want to hurt you, or have you hate me afterwards. I'm just a jester and this is wrong. Oh, it's a little bit too late to grow a conscience now, huh? After you just fandangled my stuff. You talk as if you actually care. I don't not care, and that scares me. He shoves you away sharply and steps back. Enough. That's it. His face turns to stone again. Get out of here. I need to prepare for my performance if you turn this place into a circus. Me? You just let me go like that. What, do you want more? Don't push it, Your Highness. And next time, don't go anywhere where you aren't called. And in general, don't let yourself be pushed around. Not everyone in this castle will be so restrained. You call that restrained? I remember your lesson. I hope you remember it well, and not just the lesson. Wouldn't mind if you remembered me as well. You're insufferable. That's what I am. He opens the door and gestures to the corridor. The feast is soon. Run before I change my mind and tell the king how we will each other in there. We would not. Ah yes, before I forget, my name is Nail. I hope you enjoyed today's performance, Your Highness. He breaks into a friendly grin. You step out and the door slams shut behind you. Well, this time we're gonna walk past the woman. The woman looks somehow suspicious. You don't wait to tempt fate and walk past a strange woman. You feel something strange as if someone is boring a hole in you with their gaze from behind. You turn around but the strange woman has already vanished. You feel a slight jolt. You bumped into someone. It is not clear what has happened, but your hand ends up drenched in something warm and sticky. Oh, how disgusting. Two familiar maids flutter around you. You didn't notice how they got there. Oh, Your Majesty, what happened to you? Are you injured? No, it seems someone spilled something on me. I'm fine. I'll take care of everything now, Your Majesty. Don't move. The maid wipes off the sticky mess and slips a white brocade glove onto your hands. If something like this happens again, you can just take off the gloves and your hands will stay clean. I don't think that's how it works, but thank you. Apparently some liquid remained on your hands and a few red droplets seeped through the white fabric of the glove. Before you can say anything, one of the maids exclaims, Your Majesty, you can't do this. You'll drive yourself into an early grave. What are you talking about? Eat at least a little. You need to regain your strength. You haven't eaten since morning. You don't feel hungry, but the maids are right. A long time has passed and you haven't eaten or drunk anything since you arrived in this place. One of the maids holds out a tray to you. On it are a goblet and a bowl. A goblet with a dark liquid and a sharp smell. Alright, are we gonna eat at this time? We'll eat something. You take the bowl of stew. In it floats pieces of meat and some vegetables and herbs. It looks so appetizing that your stomach growls. You eat a few spoonfuls of the fragrant stew. Warmth spreads through your mouth down your throat and settles below. Your stomach stops growling and you feel a pleasant warmth inside. This is good. The spices are perfectly balanced and the flavor is so rich. Of course it's delicious, Your Highness. The broth was simmering since last evening and the special spices are only added to special dishes for great feasts. How do you know that? While I was in the kitchen overseeing the cooking, it turned out really delicious. And then they talked about eating the food, and I think now we get to speak to either the king or the priest, the scribe, or the knight. But since we are going for the jester, what happens if we just walk around the hall? You decide you don't feel like talking to anyone and simply start wandering around the hall. Oil lamps burn along the walls, their lights dancing across the guest's face, making them seem now younger, now older. Couples spin in a slow dance, but their smiles seem too strained for you. The clinking of goblets fragments the conversations and laughter, but it all slips past you like water through your fingers. You feel like a stranger not because you're from elsewhere, but because no one truly looks at you. All these people see only the king's bride, not the one who hides behind that title. You pass the columns and stop at a window. Beyond the glass lies a black night and distant lights like stars. Suddenly, you feel as if someone is behind one of the tapestries. You listen closely. Silence. You decide to ignore this oddity and continue your stroll. Wait, I want to go examine the suspicious tapestry. You move further through the hall, weaving around noisy clusters of guests. Everyone seems a bit weary, but the merriment continues. Many await the jester's performance. Your gaze falls upon the heavy tapestry on the wall. You notice its edge slightly pulling away from the stone. You grow curious. What lies behind it? Another corridor or just an old alcove? You slowly approach, careful not to draw attention. Your fingers touch the fabric. It's rough, dusty, but carries a certain coolness. You notice a small gap behind the tapestry, and a draft seeps through from it, but you decide not to rush. Who knows what's there? Better to investigate to the guest first and consider whether it is worth going. You move away from the tapestry and return to the center of the hall, feeling that the secret can wait. No. I want to find out what's behind the tapestry. You decide it's time to find out what's behind the tapestry. You stand before it. It conceals a passage beyond, which seems a narrow corridor begins. The air from within smells of dampness and old paper as if no one has walked there in a long time. A strange excitement grips you. What if there's something important there or dangerous? Approach the wall and examine it. You press close to the tapestry, studying its woven pattern. It depicts hunters and wild beasts. The fabric is worn in places, but here and there are traces of someone's fingers are visible. Pull it aside. You grab the edge of the fabric and pull. At first it resists, but you apply force and the tapestry shifts with a creak. Behind it, a dark passage, just wide enough for one person. Inside, darkness and the smell of dust. Your heart begins to beat faster. Should you go there? Oh yeah, absolutely. Walk down the dark corridor. You take a step, then another, stairs leading to a wooden door. You push it and it opens with ease. Hello, oh wait, we're back in the Jester's room. Before you is a room cluttered with mannequins in garish costumes. On the wall hangs caps with bells, and in the corner stands a large mirror in a warm frame. The Jester's dressing room. And here is our curious guest. I thought you'd forgotten all about me. Came to visit the Jester before the performance. I found a passage behind the tapestry and got curious to see where it leads, and the corridor led you straight to my humble abode. Well, now I'll have to find new passages in the wall since you know this one. Or I'll take you hostage to keep you quiet. He smirks, but something warm flickers in his eyes. So, how is His Highness's reception going? Not exactly well, but not exactly bad either. I didn't feel like talking to anyone, and the Jester made a sad face, as if about to burst into tears. Oh, what a pity, poor Highness. Well, never mind, I'll help you get used to these boring walls. Tell me about one of the courtiers. Do you wish to know about someone in particular? About the king? About yourself, Jester? About me? Oh, I'm the most interesting inhabitant of the castle. If we're counting by the amount of wine-drunken barbs spoken. And how long have you lived here? A long time. So long I've lost count, but I don't age. The secret, I drink mushroom brew, dance on tables, and never think about tomorrow. And what do you do when you're not joking? I seek the truth. And when I find it, I season it with irony and serve it on a golden platter. But seriously, I just want people to not be afraid to laugh even when everything is bad. That sounds almost philosophical. I'm just tired of serious faces, that is all. I know all the ins and outs, all the secrets, all the skeletons in the closets, but I am not cruel. I just love the truth. And sometimes that truth sounds like a joke. If you like me, I'll be your best friend. If not, your worst enemy. But I hope we'll be friends. I have a good sense for people and I like you so far. But enough about the others, better tell me. What do I do when I'm not entertaining the crowd? You must have been practicing. Oh, you noticed, yes. I'm always rehearsing something. Juggling, walking on my hands, learning not to fall off tightropes. A jester must stay in shape so as not to disgrace himself before the nobility. But honestly, I just love movement. Without it, I start to grow bored, and boredom is worse than any illness. And have you ever fallen? Fallen, of course. Once I landed so badly, I walked around with a bruise covering half my face for 3 days. I told everyone I was playing a joke on myself. No one believed it, but you keep going. What should I do? Sit on my hands and wait for someone to amuse me? No, I'd rather make my own fun, even if it sometimes ends in bruises. Now tell me, why am I so cruel to the lords? Because they deserve to be put in their place. Oh, you understand. Yes, they think they're above everyone, but I remind them that they're just as mortal. And sometimes it's good for them to hear the truth, even if served as a joke. But you're taking a risk. Risks, of course. But if I didn't take risks, I'd just be another courtier who flatters and smiles. I want to be the one who tells the truth, even if that truth stings them. And aren't you afraid that one day they'll snap? I am afraid, but then I remember they're too cowardly to kill a jester. It would look like an admission of weakness, and they don't want that. Nail adjusts his cap and steps closer to you. And now, Your Highness, we must go. The feast awaits its main character, me. Oh, so this time the show isn't cancelled. If I delay another minute, the guests will be so drunk they won't remember a single one of my jokes. And I want them to remember. Especially you. Are you so sure your performance will be unforgettable? I don't doubt it. Because I've prepared something special for you. He winks and takes a step towards the door but stops. And don't you dare miss my performance. Promise? I promise. Well then, let's go. Just don't lag behind or you'll get lost in the hallways and I'll have to find you. Though there is a certain charm to that. He smirks again, opens the door and gestures for you to follow him. Suddenly all the oil lamps in the hall go out. Complete darkness. The guests gasp. The clang of a fallen goblet is heard along with someone's frightened shriek. Oh, he's so cute! And a second later, the light returns, but the jester is already standing in the center of the hall. Red petals fall slowly from above, swirling in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, those who have not yet fallen asleep from boredom or drowned in wine, I shall tell you a tale that will freeze the blood in your veins and make your hair stand on end. His voice booms, the silence of the hall makes it louder. The tale of how one day a shadow descended upon us, of how it slipped out from underfoot and began to live its own life, and of what happens when a shadow meets the light. The guests are silent, enchanted. The jester raises his hands and claps twice. The lamps go out again. Now in the darkness, the shadows begin to move. Huge and unnatural, they dance on the walls depicting battle, love and death. These are not mere shadows from the candles. They seem alive, moving on their own. You feel a chill run across your skin. Somewhere in the corner, a stifled gasp is heard. Once upon a time, there was a little shadow. She appeared from nowhere, perhaps from a crack, perhaps from the void. She was alone and always hungry. She ate light, first tiny lights, then more and more lights, then the stars that hung low over the forest. With each bite, the shadow grew. It grew larger and stronger. And one day, she crept up to a star to eat it. The shadow opened its mouth and suddenly heard music. She had never heard anything like it before. Before she lived in solitude and silence. The shadow forgot why it had come. The shadow embraced the noisy rock and long gazed at the rivers and the forest. She lay down on the cloud and began to listen, then to watch again, and there people danced and sang and laughed. People were strange. They killed each other over a piece of meat, and an hour later embraced and wept. They bore children in the mud and died, and with a smile if someone held their hand. They built houses that crumbled and built them again. The shadow did not understand why, but liked it. She watched for days, weeks and years. She forgot about hunger. For the first time in her empty life, she was no longer lonely. It seemed to her that people only just like shadows, only fleshy and noisy. But the days grew even brighter. The sun grew stronger and it scorched the earth. The days grew longer and warmer, the seas and sands basked under the sun. And the people warmed themselves too, and the shadow grew angry. She had never known what anger was, but now something hot and sharp was growing inside her. The shadow soared into the sky, enveloping the sun. She opened her toothy maw and devoured the sun. Then came silence and cold, eternal night. The shadow was pleased. She did not understand that she had done something wrong. Since then, people shiver, hunger and fear. The children born after that night were strange. Children of the night, strong, beautiful and hungry. Oh no! Thus the shadow began to live among people. She seeks those who do not fear the dark and take them with her. Wait, why is she coming after me? The shadows freeze. The silence falls. The lamps flare up again. The jester is already standing in his formal place as if nothing happened, adjusting his cap. From the hall, the guests' delighted exclamations ring out. That was incredible! How does he do that? I've never seen anything like it. The jester takes a bow, but for a second his eyes meet yours and he winks almost imperceptibly. The light in the hall becomes steady again and the shadows vanish as if they were never there. The guests applaud, someone whistles and someone wipes sweat from their brow. The jester raises a hand calling for silence. And now, after such a stirring tale, we need a spectacle. Who better than the guest of honor to help me with that? He turns to you and with a broad gesture invites you to approach. I beg you, your highness, do not deny us the pleasure. The guests part, clearing a path. You have no choice but to step into the center of the hall. The jester smiles, pulls a black silk ribbon from his belt and deftly ties it over your eyes. Oh, in front of everyone? Do not be afraid, I will not drop you, I promise. You feel him easily scoop you up in his arms as if you weigh nothing. You hear surprised gasps and muffled exclamations. Somewhere goblets clink, someone laughs in admiration. The jester takes a few steps, and then you feel him begin to sway slightly from side to side. Tension in the air grows. After a few moments, you hear his whisper. You may remove the blindfold now, your highness. Oh, he's so pretty. I love the CG art and the sprite art. They're so gorgeous. You remove the ribbon and realize you're sitting on his shoulder, and he is balancing on a tall wooden ladder in the middle of the hall. And below, a crowd of guests mills about, frozen with their heads raised. The light of the chandeliers almost touches your hand. How did you... Hush. Just look at them. They will burst with envy at any moment now. A moment later, he finally speaks. Here, no one will disturb us. How is your mood, your highness? I like it here. A pity you won't stay here long. What do you mean? You look down, the guests' faces look up to you. Their eyes filled with admiration, fear, and delight. Is he gonna drop me? The jester takes another step up and the ladder sways, the guests gasp. And now the finale. He suddenly tosses you into the air like a feather. You nearly touch the high ceiling of the hall, but a second later the stone floor is closer. You feel a moment of weightlessness, a tremor and panic. It happens so fast you didn't even have time to scream. You squeeze your eyes shut just before meeting the stone floor of the hall. Another moment you're beginning to see the light to the end of the tunnel. And then you feel warm hands at your waist and under your knees. And you open your eyes and see the jester, who caught you just before the floor. Nail, I would be so mad if that ever happened to me. Like, damn, I nearly peed myself. The ladder crashes down to the table behind you, overturning plates and goblets. The guests freeze at first, then burst into applause and cheers. Bravo, amazing. The jester sets you on your feet and bows, stepping into the shadows. The cry of one of the guests is heard. I blame all this slop on me. The ladder left by the jester fell onto the table and tipped a plate onto a stout gentleman. The maids are already bustling around the drenched guest, wiping him down and bringing napkins. You turn to thank the jester, but he has vanished as if dissolved into the air. The two maids you already know, Eliza and Maria, run up to you. Your Highness, that was incredible. You are composure itself. I thought my heart would stop. How could you agree to such a thing? Well, I didn't know I was agreeing to that. I don't quite understand how it happened myself. Nail is simply mad, but an incredible performer. An unforgettable evening. One of the maids whispers, the jester has outdone himself tonight. I've never seen such a performance. They say he prepared it especially for you. Oh, did I feel special? Soon the feast will draw to a close. We will come for you and escort you so you may rest. They dissolve back into the crowd. From the shadow of a column, a man with an eye patch appears. In his hand he holds parchment and a quill. Your Highness, forgive the intrusion. I am Mortalis, the local chronicler. He inclines his head slightly. I record all events that occur in the castle. Your arrival is undoubtedly the most significant in recent years. If you ever wish to learn the history of these places or simply talk of books, I am always in the library. I will remember, Mortalis. Perhaps I will stop by. I will wait with anticipation. Your story is only just beginning. He vanishes as silently as he appeared. Hello, Sir Knight. Well, he introduces himself here, and then we shall skip forward a little bit more, because we've already seen this part. And then we're back into our room, and instead of thinking of the king this time, we think of Nail. But among all these faces, one surfaces often the most. The Jester Nail. His laugh, his cap, his bold jokes. He seems frivolous, but in his eyes you saw something greater. He knows the secrets of this castle and is not afraid to speak of truth. With him you feel at ease and had fun, even when he crossed lines. You feel he is not just a jester, he is a key to something important. And you can't stop thinking about what he said. I like you and that is dangerous. Yeah. You sigh, pushing the thoughts away. Too many questions, too few answers. Okay, and then they tell us about the king cancelling the ritual. And this time instead, I think we should go and find Nail. Beyond the great door is the throne room. 2 more passages flank the sides. Behind you a corridor leading to the bedroom. Where should I go? There's so much stuff, holy crap. In the throne room? You walk down the dark corridor, silence broken only by your footsteps. Oh god, this looks like the jester. Suddenly in the distance you notice a shadow. It is frozen still and seems to be staring right at you. Your heart starts beating faster, you freeze for a moment trying to understand what it is. The shadow slowly approaches and you hear footsteps heavy and measured. Well, we're gonna freeze. I'm pretty sure this is the jester. You freeze in place, your feet feel as if they're rooted to the floor. The shadow draws nearer. Your heart pounds so loudly it seems to echo through the entire corridor. But when the figure steps into the light, you see familiar features. It's Nail, the jester. Why are they out? What is going on? Nail mutters curses under his breath, walking with a loud squelch and shaking himself off like a wet cat. His cap is askew. Shirt clings to his body and water drips from his hair. Ah, your highness, what a surprise. I just decided to take a moonlit swim. Very refreshing. Nail, you're soaking wet. Same. I mean, what? What happened? Oh, nothing special. I just decided to check if someone had fallen into the well. Turns out it was me. He laughs, and you notice how quickly he adjusts his shirt, covering something on his chest. The scar? You're hiding something, I can feel it. Oh, I'm always hiding something. It's my job, but don't worry. I'll take your secrets to the grave. Mine? You have no idea how boring they are. Let me help you. You're trembling all over. Help? Careful, your highness, I might get used to your kindness. You didn't answer what happened. I fell into the fountain, really. But don't ask how I ended up here, it's too stupid a story even for a jester. He smiles, but you see him nervously fidget with his bells and fidget with his bells. The Jester looks at you more closely and his smile softens. But something is amiss, Your Highness. I see you are not asleep. Wandering the halls, what's wrong? Can't sleep because of your thoughts? I just don't want to sleep. Oh no, I know what I'm being lied to. I'm a jester. I can see it in your eyes, you're hiding something. I can't help if you remain silent. When King cancelled the ritual, I don't know what to think. Cancelled? What a twist. I thought he was ready to sacrifice you for his mask or for his crown. What? He said I need to rest, but I feel the reason is something else. Interesting. And you know, Your Highness, I've heard he's not himself or he's hiding something. Perhaps he feels the ritual will reveal his secrets. The Jester thoughtfully twirls the belt on his cap and suddenly grins. Or maybe he has other plans for tonight. Rumor has it a maid visits him every night. Maybe he cancelled the ritual to spend time with her and your rest is just an excuse. He laughs but notices you're not smiling. Oh, not funny, is it? Sorry, I sometimes forget my jokes can be inappropriate. How is that a joke? He steps closer and touches your shoulder. But seriously, if the king doesn't value you, I feel he is not the one for you. I can arrange an escape. I know every passage in the castle. We can disappear forever and live freely without the burden of that terrifying mask. Are you seriously suggesting I run away? Dead serious. I don't joke when it comes to your freedom. I see you are not made for this cage and I can help you get out. But the king will find another bride, and you will find a life that suits you. I'll lead you through the secret passages and no one will find us. A silence falls. The Jester looks at you and his gaze grows warmer. You're beautiful when you're worried, and when you smile, quite unbearable. Are you joking again? Joking, maybe. But if I was serious, would you run away with me? Or stay to find out what the mask hides? He steps closer and you smell the scent of water and something bitter. I could show you what true freedom is, and what true feelings are without masks, without games. Nail, I know this is wrong. You belong to the king and I'm just a jester, but I can't stop thinking about you. Oh, hehe. I'm loving the drama. His hand touches your cheek and you feel his fingers tremble and touch his cheek. I don't mean to scare you, I just want you to know. Amidst all these walls and intrigues is someone who truly cares about you, even if he's wet and foolish. Same. He pulls back and takes a step away, smiling. Enough gloom-mongering, I must be going. You need your rest. Tomorrow is a new day and I hope you greet it with a smile. You're leaving. I always leave when things get too serious, and so I stay alive and merry. Good night, Your Highness. He winks and vanishes around the corner, leaving you in the empty corridor with droplets of water on the floor and a multitude of questions. Wait, no, don't go, I want to jingle your bells. You feel his words settle in your soul, stirring a strange warmth and unease at once. He's right. Tomorrow is a new day and you need to be ready. Okay, well that was spicy. We'll stay and try to hear more because we don't want to die. And this time, strike the head when they appear in the window again. Until a sudden a groan rings out. Man falls to the floor, clutching his head. You look at him and freeze. It's him in our room this time. The Jester Nail surprisingly stays on his feet, but rubs his bruised head. He looks more surprised and angry. Ouch, Your Highness, you nearly broke my nose. I'm a jester, not a punching bag. He laughs, but you notice him wince from pain. Sorry. You're not as fragile as you seem. That's pleasing. I might even say you're dangerous in a good way. He rises slowly, adjusting his clothes and his cap, which has been knocked askew. But you know that makes you even more attractive. I love it when a woman can stand up for herself. Nail, what are you doing here? I want to see how you sleep, Your Highness, but you were awake, so I decided to entertain you. He steps closer and sits on the edge of the bed, kicking off his motley shoes and stretching like a contented cat. Besides, I couldn't allow you to spend this night alone. That would be far too boring for you and me. And you, I can see, are not one who enjoys boredom. Are you always this pushy? Only when I see that someone is just in need of company. And you, Your Highness, look as if you've been thrown into a dungeon without a candle. He leans in and looks into your eyes, his smile softening. But I jest. Though seriously, something is wrong. I can see it in your eyes. You are not merely awake, you are brooding over something heavy. Let me guess. The king, the wedding tomorrow, or something else. You remain silent, unsure whether to speak. The jester sighs and runs a hand over his cap, gazing at you thoughtfully. I know I'm a jester, but I am no fool. I can see you're hesitating. Perhaps I'll tell you my secret to lighten the mood. What secret? I was relaxing in the hammam, when suddenly a maid ran in. The very one who they say sneaks to the king at night. I was so startled that I slipped on the wet floor and fell straight into the basin. She saw me and ran off with a shriek. He laughs, but something mischievous and slightly embarrassed flickers in his eyes. But where was the king? There was no one there. He was probably busy with his secrets, so I just sulked alone until I was startled. He pauses and looks at you with a hint of irony. But you know, now I understand why she was so frightened. I must have looked like a ghost. Wet and disheveled without my cap, it would be funny if it weren't so ridiculous. You ponder, his words about the maid remind you of a conversation you overheard. I shall tell him about the thing. Now I must tell you something. Today I overheard the conspirators. They said someone will die at the wedding. The jester stops smiling. His face turns serious and he leans closer, his voice dropping. Are you sure? This is very serious. You must be absolutely certain. I heard it with my own ears. They spoke of the wedding day. I know I'm not mistaken. He shakes his head and rubs his chin thoughtfully, his gaze becoming focused. Interesting. Who could it be? And why would someone want to kill at the wedding? The king? You? Or one of the courtesans? I don't know, but I'm afraid. The jester looks at you, and a fire, a resolve, kindles in his eyes. Listen, what if we run away together? While everyone is looking for the villains, we'll simply vanish. The king has his personal guard, nothing will happen to him and we'll be far away. Are you serious? I've never been more serious. I can create a diversion. Set something on fire or speak the horses, for instance. While everyone is running about, we'll slip away through the secret passages. I know them all, even the ones the king has forgotten. He takes your hand in his and squeezes it. We could be free. Okay, I'll trust him this time. And then, before we move on to another love interest route, we will come back, pick the option to not tell him and not trust him. I trust you now. The jester asks again, his voice growing quieter. Are you sure? If we do this, there will be no turning back. Yes. He smiles, his face lining up with warmth. He wraps his arms around you and you both fall onto the bed. Oh, wow, scandalous. You feel his warmth, his scent, a mix of herbs and wax and something elusively sweet and bitter. His breath grazes your ears. You have no idea what you mean to me. I've waited so long for someone to look at me, not just as a jester. You see me. He strokes your hair and you feel him tremble. His fingers glide along your back, pressing you against him. I don't know how you'll arrange the escape, but if you need help, I'll help. Above all, trust me. I will take care of the rest. I know what I'm doing. He draws you closer and you feel his fingers glide along your back, along your waist. His lips touch your temple and trail down to your cheek and you feel his warm breath. You're the brightest star in this darkness and I'm ready to follow you anywhere. You feel his breath deepen, his hands settling on your waist, drawing you even closer. He kisses you first, gently, then with growing passion. His fingers tangle in your hair and you feel his body press against yours. He stops abruptly and looks at you with concern, his eyes searching for yours. And what about the king? Don't you feel sorry for him? Do you truly not care about his feelings? I must know. I'm not sure of anything right now. I don't even know what I feel. Everything is so tangled. The jester pulls back and sits on the bed, his voice softening. I don't want to be pushy. You deserve time to think. Perhaps I'm rushing things and that is not fair to you. He looks at you with warmth, his hand touching your cheek. But know that I am here, and I'm ready to wait. As long as it takes, I will wait because you are worth it. He rises and heads to the window, but pauses for a moment, turning back. You know you are the only one with whom I can be myself. I will wait if you change your mind. He grins and adjusts his cap, voice turning playful. And if you don't change your mind, at least don't forget to smile. It makes you look even more beautiful. And maybe I'll steal your smile when you're not looking. He winks and vanishes into the night, leaving you alone. You sit on the bed for a long time, digesting his words, his confessions, his pain. His hope of it all mingles with your own feelings. You touch your cheek where his breath still lingers and feel your heart racing. You look at the empty windowsill, and it feels as though you can still sense his presence. Fatigue takes its toll and you drift off to sleep. Ooh, yay! Okay, alright, let's go back though, because before we move on to another person, there are a couple more little jester things I want to do first. Ask if you were spying on someone in the hammam. And were you spying on someone in the hammam? Perhaps that particular maid. Me spying? Your Highness, I am offended. I am a man of honor. I do not suffer from such afflictions. He presses a hand to his heart, feigning offense, but laughter dances in his eyes. But you said yourself that she ran in. Perhaps you were hoping she would come. I was only hoping no one would see me in such a state. And now apparently I'll have to bathe in my clothes so no one sees anything they shouldn't. You both laugh and the atmosphere lightens, but then the jester grows serious. You know, you are the only one in this castle who can tell a joke. But not better than me, of course. But I concede to you in acrobatics, at least you know how to do a somersault. He smiles, but sadness appears in his eyes. It makes me sad that I cannot be myself. It is rare to speak with someone who takes me seriously, but you see the real me. We are alike in some way, we both pretend to be someone else. Perhaps that's why I feel for you what I shouldn't feel. But I understand that I am hardly of interest to you. You are the king's betrothed and I am merely a jester. Ah, spicy forbidden love. You are mistaken, you are interesting. The jester looks at you with hope and his hand touches yours. A pause hangs in the air. He looks at you and you see him hesitate, his breath deepening. You know, what if we run away together? I can create a diversion while everyone is in confusion will disappear. It pains me to not trust him, but oof, I'm not sure I can trust you. The jester is a little disappointed, but his smile doesn't completely vanish. He takes a deep breath. I understand. You are a bird far beyond my reach and I am a jester, and you're the king's betrothed. But I ask one thing of you. After the wedding, at least speak with me sometime. One word from you will be enough for me. I can't trust anyone, do you understand that? I understand. Even if you don't trust me, I will never cause you pain. He looks at you with sadness, but his hand still touches yours. He rises and heads to the window, but pauses for a moment, turning back. You know, you're the only one with whom I can be myself. I'll wait if you change your mind. He grins and adjusts his cap, voice turning playful. And if you don't change your mind, at least don't forget to smile. It makes you even more beautiful. And maybe I'll steal your smile when you're not looking. He winks and vanishes into the night, leaving you alone. Well, and that is the alternate option for the Jester's ending. I'm pretty sure that's all the Jester's stuff. Alright, before we properly move on to the next love interest, which I think is going to be the priest, the Jester has an alternate introduction scene I want to show you first. I'm very excited to see it. You step out on the main building into the inner courtyards, where it smells of mushroom soup and raw wood. From somewhere through a slightly open door came the children's laughter and the jingle of bells. You don't have time to peek inside the open door. A crowd of tiny giggling silhouettes runs out of it, following a huge figure. A huge man in a motley cap is juggling apples while children jump around him. The children spot you and scatter in an instant. Hey, I don't bite. No, but the Jester does. The Jester turns around, the smile spreads across his face and he steps closer to you. And here's our legend in the flesh, so this is who all the servants are gossiping about, our new Your Highness. He bows with theatrical exaggeration, one arm thrown back and the other held to his chest. Nail officially, but in the castle they call me Little Nail. You probably heard all about it. You were not the first to scare the children, Your Highness. They ran off on their own. Please don't have me executed, Your Highness. These little ones have no respect for royalty. I was just telling them a scary story about the evil bride who bites off the heads of naughty little ones. And you showed up right on time to confirm the image. Witty, I try. Either way, you have an unusual name, Yinny. I hear you are from far away. I hope you know what you're getting into, or have you at least seen our king without the mask? They say there might be a goblin there, or a freak with a beak, or maybe two dwarves in one cloak. Aren't you afraid the wedding is a disguised cannibal feast? These must be jokes. I don't even know how to react to them. Perhaps you know how I've ended up here. No one could explain properly. Maybe you know how I ended up here. No one really explains. Oh, of course. I'm the chief keeper of the kingdom's secrets. I'll pull a scroll of instructions out of my cap right now. He pretends to rummage in his cap but finds nothing. Alas, nothing. I only know that the king dragged you here. Maybe by a rope, maybe in a sack. Do you notice any bruises? No, I definitely don't have any. Besides, Your Highness, I'm a jester, not a chronicler. My job is to make people laugh and play the fool. Why not ask His Highness about that? I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet. He probably just didn't want to scare me. Oh, possibly, but if he didn't want to scare you, why kidnap you at all? Strange logic, but you know best. Do you think he could have acted differently? I don't know how he could have acted. I only know he's not very good at talking to people, so maybe you're right. Why were the children afraid of me? What kind of story did you tell them? Yes, I was just getting to the scariest part. About the evil bride who bites off especially those who don't put away their toys. He lowers his voice to a theatrical whisper. I said that she has teeth like a wolf and that she screams at night, "Where is my head?" And you showed your head in the doorway just in time and they got scared. I like to say I planned it all, but I don't make a habit of claiming lucky coincidences. That's usually what counts do. How convenient. But for a terrifying bloodthirsty bride, you are far too beautiful. You should put on more makeup for the wedding to match our king. You can drop by my dressing room. I know how to do all sorts of things. Yeah, I bet you do. And in turn, I can show you how good I jingle bells. For example? Oh, Your Highness. I think you'll understand on your own if you want to. I promise you'll enjoy everything I do with you. Yeah, no kidding. You're too insolent now. Insolence is my middle name, or my third after charming, but being strict suits you. It's exciting. Aren't you afraid I'll complain to the king? I'm going to complain and he'll definitely know you care about me, and you don't want that, do you? Aren't you afraid of the king's wrath? For such words, they might burn your tongue. Alas and alack, but besides my tongue, I still have plenty of limbs or tricks. Oh, you can't think of anything else to say. Is it true you bit off the count's fingernail? Oh, that story. The count was drunk and lost to me at dice. He shouted so furiously, waved his arm, turned as red as a tomato. And when he called me a hunched-over dog, I decided to show him how real dogs behave. And then you bit him. Oh no, first I got on all fours, growled, and only then did I bite. He's so silly. I was screaming as if I had bitten off his finger, but it was really just the nail. Would you like to play cat's cradle, your highness? I love risk. Let's try it. Oh, I knew you were special, but I warn you my string's tied knots that can't be undone. Are you sure? I'm not afraid. Is this foreplay? The next time I'll show you what true fear is. Or pleasure, depending on how you look at it. Continue the dialogue. A short pause hangs in the air. The jester notices you're tense. He looks worried. Did my jokes offend you, your highness? No, not exactly. And what troubles you? I may be a jester, but I am no fool. I promise not to twist your woes into jokes this time. You sense his genuine interest. You know, Nail, everything here seems strange to me. Especially walking through hallways in complete darkness. Where I come from, it was light. All of this makes me uneasy. Are you saddened by the darkness? Shall I give you a lantern? No, it's all about the sun. Ah, never mind, you wouldn't understand it anyway. The sun. Ah, that's from the legends about the sun. I know that tale. It's not about the story, it's just that everything here is different. And the wedding, the king. I don't know if I want any of this, but it's scary to say out loud. And the jester becomes serious for a second, but immediately returns to his playful grin. Your highness, you've ended up in a circus where the main clown hides behind a mask. No wonder you don't understand the rules. But since you told me about the light, I'll put on a show at the feast tonight just for you. Something that will make you forget the darkness, I promise. Really? Thank you. Just don't you dare miss the feast. The king awaits and I need to rehearse my act, so I'll take my leave. He bows low, his cap nearly falling off. And you, your highness, I advise you to hurry. I'll see you at the feast, Yandere. He slaps his thighs, does a backflip and disappears around the corner of the kitchen, leaving only the jingle of bells behind. He barely finished speaking when two familiar maids appear around the corner. Well, that is the jester's second introduction. And that's all the jester seems. Alright, let's move on to the priest. Okay, this is just after the throne room. Instead of talking to the jester this time and meeting him, either via the courtyard or by sneaking into his room, we're going to talk to Priest Emphys, who is right there. A few withered bushes, red flowers on thin stems, and the smell of damp earth. Priest Emphys is kneeling by a flower bed, carefully sorting through the leaves. Small shears glint in his hands. He rises, brushing off his knees, and his face is lit with a soft glow. He smiles gently. Your Highness Yandere, already inspecting your new domain? Yes, it wouldn't hurt to look around. Do you work here? I thought gardeners were supposed to tend to the plants. We have no gardeners, unfortunately. Almost no one knows how to care for flowers. Ordinary plants die and these are finicky. I teach them other servants, but few are suited for it so far. They lack patience, so I do most of it myself. You see small red flowers on the bushes, smaller than ordinary shrub roses but very similar to them. Are these roses? So tiny. Yes, night roses. They bloom once a year. Their petals are used in calming droughts for those who suffer nightmares. Are you a healer as well? Sometimes the soul aches no less than the body, and flowers are good listeners. Oh, he's so pretty. Look at him. The art is all so gorgeous. Like, good God, it's so good. Have you ever truly loved? Not as a priest, but as a man. I loved, long ago, but not a woman. My son. He was left at the chapel. Doors on a cold night, small, frozen through. I still marvel how could anyone abandon a little one in such bitter cold. And what became of him? He grew clever. Very clever for his age, and then... He falls silent, the pause stretches on. What then? I understood then, not all wounds can be healed by prayer. And not all souls are drawn to the light. Oh, that is so sad. Something greater was growing within him, and I could no longer guide him. With each year he grew harder, until it ended in tragedy. And after, he left on his own. I did not look for him. The priest falls again, and you feel that he is deliberately omitting something important. What tragedy? Did he harm you? It was complicated. Some things I prefer not to remember, even in confession. You know, Yandere, sometimes the best a father can do is admit in time that he is a better gardener than a parent or a mentor. Do you miss him? I miss him. But he is long past being that tiny crime bundle of swaddling on my chapel's doorstep. He will find his place in the world without me. I'm probably a better gardener than a father. The conversation turned out to be heavy. Brief pause hangs in the air. The priest notices you still look troubled. You know, your highness, despair is a sin. Even in the darkest times, one should find reason to smile. Past cannot be changed and the future has not yet come. Only the present remains, an inert flower is silent and a living soul nearby. I can't get over how distractingly pretty he looks. Like, god damn, father, I have sinned. You're right, but I am not in the mood for smiles just yet. Then let us start small. Simply allow yourself to relax. A smile is like a sprout, imperceptible at first, and it blooms. I, for one, am already smiling, looking at you. Ah, did say that. His eyes are warm and a slight playfulness enters his voice. Oh, if something else enters. I'll be glad to see you in the chapel. You can always find quiet there, or in the forest among the trees, or here in the inner courtyard. I often visit these places. I wouldn't mind some company. Thank you. I will probably come, but honestly, this is all strange. This castle, the king, the wedding. I don't know if I want to be with Aurelian, and I'm scared of everything happening around me. The priest listens attentively without interrupting. Fear is normal. You have arrived in an unfamiliar place, and you're being rushed to a decision. You do not understand the rules, but you are not alone. What if I make a mistake? Mistakes are a part of life. Even priests make them. The important thing is to not withdraw into yourself. If you need help, come to me. I will listen, advise, and help as I can. He pauses and adds more quietly. And remember, whatever is said in confession stays between us. Even if she should ever wish to speak of escape, I am forbidden to tell anyone, even the king. The seal of confession is inviolable. It is the one thing I would not break for any reward. You sense that he speaks sincerely. Thank you, Emphys. I already feel a bit better. Excellent. Now we must go. The feast awaits, and keeping the king waiting would be ill-advised. But remember, my door is always open to you. He extends his hand. And together, you head towards the courtyard exit. Oh, that was cute. I really like that. Hang on. Before we head off, let's go back and try the other 2 questions too. Maybe you know how I ended up here. I don't remember anything. Unfortunately, no, Your Highness. The king did not share the details with me. He only said that he found you. But why me? Why not someone else? The king refused to marry for a long time. For years he rejected every offer. They brought in princesses, countesses, daughters of wealthy merchants, beautiful, intelligent and noble. But they all looked at him as a purse or a shield. They wanted power, lands, and protection from enemies. They all looked at him as a door to a better life, but you. The king saw a special warmth and light in you. And I see that in you as well. Perhaps that is why you're here. To warm what has long grown cold. But I didn't give consent. Emphys looked saddened. You here asked for that. Even I, a priest, sometimes perform rites over those who did not choose their fate. And conversation turned out to be heavy. Alright, and that brings us back to the little section that ends this conversation. So we'll do this, and then we'll move on to his ballroom scene. The maid said you have been here a very long time and do not age. Are you a vampire? The priest smiles gently and shakes his head. A vampire, Your Highness. The maids like to embellish. Yes, I remember the king's father and his mother. I was much younger then. Tell me, what do you remember? Damn, how old is he? Tell me, what do you remember? The king's mother. I delivered a child. It was difficult. She screamed so that the wall shook. And when the baby came, he was not breathing. And what did you do? Held him in my hands, warm but still. But he survived, didn't he? Of course, you did speak with him. Does he wear the mask because of a birth injury? Oh no, Your Highness, the mask came much later. But it would be best to inquire about that from King Aurelian himself. Aurelian did not have enough time to get to know his parents better. He left us shortly, after his 13th birthday. First her, then him. It was bitter, sorrowful, but expected. Were you at their funeral? Of course. I saw both of them off. Much time has passed since then, and I am still here. I aged, though more slowly than the others. Perhaps due to a quiet life or because of the flowers. Maybe you are a vampire after all. And then I would probably be the dullest vampire in the world. I would sit in the chapel, grow roses, and hear confessions, no romance at all. But if I ever truly needed a little blood, would you mind sharing? I would gladly accept such gifts. Cheeky. That's a joke, right? Merely testing your courage. Relax, Yandere. I'm a priest, not a nightmare. Conversation turned out to be heavy. Alright, and then we've already read this little branch here that we got after we picked the first option, and now it is time for the ball. Alright, this time we are going to speak with Emphys. Your Highness, I am glad you're here. I was hoping to speak with you further. How do you find the feast? Not too noisy for a first time. Have you gotten to know anyone closely yet? With you, Emphys. Oh, I'm flattered, but I meant among the guests. Your company is enough for me. Then I will try and be an interesting conversationalist. He smiles almost imperceptibly, and something warm flickers in his eyes. He's so cute. It's so hard to pick between the love interests. I want to do all of their routes at least once. But you know, people usually only seek me out when they need confession. But you just come. It is pleasant. Yeah, I know, I do. What do you usually do? How does your day go? How is your day going, Emphys? Morning begins with prayer. Then I go to the chapel, sort through old scrolls and copy those that are falling apart. Sometimes the servants' children come, and I teach them to read. A few have already learned their letters. That's so sweet. Do you teach? Rather, I help those who wish to learn. Literacy is not held in high regard here, but I believe knowledge is never superfluous. That's interesting. I always thought that, like, you know, being able to read in like a noble setting would be very important. Afternoon, the flowers, the roses in the inner courtyard. I show the servants how to care for them. Many are doing quite well. And in the evening, In the evening, people usually come for counsel, or confession, or just to talk. Sometimes I go to someone myself to visit the sick to offer advice. Do you speak with many people? More than it seems. Not everyone likes to be seen in the chapel, but many come in secret and I'm glad to be of use. He smiles lightly, and when there are no duties or visitors, I read or write down recipes for brews. You know, I keep a book of useful herbs that grow in the garden, and that grow in the castle. And you're not bored. Boredom is when there is no purpose, and I have plenty of it. Now there are also my talks with you. Well, Your Highness, I hope I was able to answer your questions. He smiles gently and steps back, giving you space. Continue the conversation with Emphys. Tell me about one of the guests. Who was the most interesting here in your opinion, and who is not so much? The most interesting, perhaps Mortalis the Scribe. He's always writing something, keeping secret chronicles. I suspect he knows more about the castle than anyone. Emphys looks towards Mortalis and his face grows thoughtful, almost sad. You know, sometimes he reminds me of someone. Whom? Alvia, my son. My adopted son. He too was very clever and sly. There was always a certain emptiness and coldness in him, as if he understands the world but doesn't want to live in it. By the rules. You didn't tell me about him in detail, and I won't. It's just that sometimes people are alike not in face but in the way they look. Mortalis has the same predatory gaze, and at times he behaves similarly, nothing more. And who is not so much? Lorkan the Knight. He's too silent, devoted only to the king. That's not all there is to it. What do you mean? I knew him before he lost his memory. He was a completely different person then, not the most noble, let's say. And what happened to him? The king gave him a second chance. Gave him a normal life, guided him, but I don't want to pry into that story. Just believe me, what you see now is Aurelian's doing, and what he was before, let it stay in the past. Now he's just a silent god, and perhaps that is for the best. Oh, Your Highness. I hope I was able to answer your questions. Let's ask the last one. Do feasts like this happen often here? Do feasts happen often? Not often. The king does not like noise. It's usually done to show power and wealth, or to distract the courtiers from their intrigues. And do you enjoy feasts? I prefer silence, but tonight's feast I will remember it for a long time. Why? Because you are here. Usually I sit in a corner and no one comes near me. He pauses as if searching for words. Too many faces. They're used to me as a priest. They smile, but keep their distance. No afraid to say too much, lest it come up in conversation lest it come up in confession later. But really everyone just wants a simple conversation without regard for rank. And you, what are you thinking about? Usually about how to get to the chapel faster, but today I thought you must feel like a stranger here. You guessed it. That's why I stayed. You never know when someone might need a kind word or a simple, reliable shoulder nearby. Thank you, Emphys. It means a lot to me. It is nothing. I just understand what it's like to be out of one's element. The difference is great, but the loneliness is the same. And what do you do when you don't want to be at the feast? I go to the chapel. No one disturbs me there, and sometimes I take a book. Sometimes I just sit and listen to the silence. You know, it is easier to think in silence. You can sort yourself out, understand what truly matters. Well, Your Highness, I hope I was able to answer your questions. He smiles gently and steps back, giving you space. Continue the dialogue. By the way, how do you like the refreshments? Have you tried anything? Honestly, I didn't dare. Everything feels a bit foreign. I understand it's hard for you to trust the local food, but I can assure you no one will poison anything here. The fear of the king is stronger than any thirst or revenge. Although I wouldn't eat the mushroom soup myself either, but I can vouch for the stew. What do they usually eat in the castle? Mostly mushrooms, roots and porridge. Meat is rare. For holidays, fish is brought from the lakes, but it is expensive. There used to be more food. Now everything that grows requires care and warmth. That is why every dish is cherished. Do you cook yourself? Sometimes I can brew a decoction or roast some roots. But mostly the cooks handle that. I am more into herbs and tinctures. The next time will you treat me to something? With pleasure. I have a recipe for herbal tea that wouldn't be shameful to offer, even a king. He pauses briefly. For now, just enjoy the evening. If you fancy some tea, do stop by the chapel. You decide you socialized enough and make your way back to the table. Alright, after the ball we come back to our room and we think of Emphys. His gentle smile, his endless care, his flowers. He spoke to you as if he had known you for years. In his eyes there was an ancient wisdom and a quiet sadness. You feel that he is not just a priest, he guards something important. And you want to know what exactly. You still remember how he looked at you when you asked about his past. There was so much pain in his gaze that it made you uneasy. You sigh, pushing the thoughts away. Too many questions, too few answers. Alright, then the maids come in to tell us that the king has cancelled the ritual, This time, let's go looking for Emphys and have his scene, so we can get him for the ending scene. You walk down the dark corridor, silence broken only by your footsteps. Suddenly you notice a shadow in the distance. It stands frozen, seems to be looking directly at you. It is so intriguing. But it is so intriguing that in the shadow they look like monsters. Everyone except for the king. Because the king did not have like these bloodied features. It was just his eyes. Your heart begins to race. You freeze for a moment trying to discern what it is. The shadow slowly approaches, you hear footsteps heavy and measured. You do not know if this is friend or foe, you must decide quickly. I shall freeze again. You freeze in place, your feet feel as if they're rooted to the floor. The shadow draws near, your heart pounds so loudly it seems to echo throughout the entire corridor. Then as the figure steps into the light, you recognize familiar features. It is Priest Emphys. He gestures for you to follow him. You step out into the garden. Priest Emphys gazes at the dark sky, his face lit only by the pale light of the moon. You move away from the castle to where the buildings are barely visible. Emphys sits down on the grass, and you sit beside him, without breaking the silence. I knew you would come. Night always brings those who seek answers, or those who cannot find peace. I was not seeking answers. I simply could not sleep, too many thoughts. And yet here you are. Something troubles you, something that gives you no peace. He turns to you and you see in his eyes, warm yet carrying an ancient sorrow that never seems to leave. I have heard that the king cancelled the ritual. Is that why you cannot sleep, or is there something else? Yes, I do not understand why he did this. It seems strange. Perhaps he truly wishes to give you time. Or he has his own reasons. The king rarely acts without cause, even when it is not obvious. But he said I needed rest and it sounds like an excuse. Perhaps. But sometimes the truth is more complex than it appears. And sometimes a king fears showing his vulnerability. You must trust your intuition. He gently touches your hand and you feel his cold fingers. Silence falls in the distance. A night bird can be heard calling. Emphys looks at the stars and his face grows thoughtful. You say you cannot sleep in a new place. I understand. When I first came to this castle, I too did not sleep for several nights. What were you doing? I was looking at the sky. I thought somewhere up there are answers, but they did not come. He turns to you and his voice softens. I can offer you something that may help you find peace. What? Confession. Confession always brings relief. I know it sounds strange, but it is worth trying. Why are you blushing? I do not know what to say. Then allow me to confess to you. Take my role, become my priest for this night. This way we shall keep each other's secrets and you will feel lighter. Is this foreplay? I will try, but I do not know how to do it. Just listen. Sometimes listening is the best confession, and you will see how words begin to find their meaning. He takes your hand and interlaces his fingers with yours. You're stronger than you think, and I believe you will endure. He takes your hand and squeezes it. You feel his warmth and a slight tremor. I want to tell you something. I have never told anyone. This strange feeling, it came to me recently. I thought I had survived everything, that my heart had grown cold, but you made me feel what I thought was forgotten. What do you feel? I will tell you about my son. About how he left, about how I searched for him, and about how I found him but realized I could not save him. Oh, that's dark. What happened to him? He became what I feared to see in him. Cruel and lost. He hurt others and I could not stop him. His voice trembles and you feel his fingers tighten. I returned here long ago, but now has this place begun to please me again? But only now has this place begun to please me again because here I met you. I do not know why I'm telling you this, but I feel you ought to know. I do not know what to say. This is too sudden, I cannot talk about this right now. I understand. I feel something for you too, Emphys. I do not know what it is, but it is there. You have no idea how much your words mean to me. But I fear this feeling could destroy everything we have. Perhaps this is exactly what we need. To risk everything for something real. I do not know, but I want to try. Even if it costs me everything. He brings your hand to his lips and kisses it. Oh my god! And you feel his breath. He releases your hand and looks up at the sky. His face grows calmer. Everyone just here wanting to betray the king. Jesus. I know I have no right to such feelings, but I cannot remain silent. You have kindled something within me that I thought had died. I am glad that I managed to do this. I feel the same. But now I must go. I need to go to the chapel, and you need to rest. Tomorrow will be a new day, and it will bring new trials. He stands and extends his hand to you, helping you rise. Do not take my words to heart, and do not fear me. I know how to behave. I will not overstep any bounds. I'm not afraid of you, Emphys. I'm afraid of what the future holds for me. Then we feel the same thing. But perhaps this fear is the beginning of something important. He walks towards the chapel, leaving you in the garden beneath the stars. You feel his words settle in your soul, stirring a strange warmth and unease at once. You look at the sky and realize that this night has changed something within you. You decide to return to your chambers and rest a little before the coming day. Alright, now that we've seen that, this time we'll strike when the head appears in the window again, because that's funny. Prince Emphys, Priest Emphys winces, holding his forehead. He does not look angry, rather slightly surprised. Forgive me, Your Highness, I should have warned you, but I do not want anyone to hear us. He takes a step forward, carefully touching his head. I'm sorry I donked you on the noggin. A strong blow. You know how to defend yourself. That's quite impressive. Yes, I am very good at strong blows, if you know what I mean. Emphys, what are you doing here? Why did you climb through the window? I had to make sure you're alright. I simply wanted to talk with you a little longer. Today has been a difficult day for you. He steps closer and sits on the edge of the bed and gestures for you to sit beside him. You sit down and he turns to you, his eyes full of warmth and sorrow. Yes, it has been a difficult day. I still cannot grow accustomed to this place. I understand the castle is oppressive. Sometimes it seems the very walls breathe with the other's fears. He falls silent and his voice grows softer. You know, today I realized something. It's harder for me to be a priest. With each year I lose faith, not in God in people, in the belief that anything can change. Why? I've seen too much pain and betrayal and emptiness. I try to help, but often my words shatter against a wall of deafness. He looks at his hand and shifts his gaze to you. When I met you, I felt something rekindle within me again. It's as if you are the very light I sought. You gave me hope. His hand covers yours and you feel his cold fingers tremble slightly. I do not know how to explain it, but you made me feel alive. I want to believe again, to hope again. You feel his words piercing your soul. You hesitate, unsure whether to tell him what you just overheard. Alright, we'll tell him and trust him first, and then we'll do the second option afterwards. Emphys, I must tell you something. Tonight I overheard a conversation among conspirators. They spoke of someone dying at the wedding. His face grows serious and he squeezes your hand, pulling you closer. Are you sure? This is very serious, you must be absolutely certain. I heard it with my very own ears. They spoke of the wedding day and murder. He takes a deep breath and his gaze hardens. Then I must protect you. I know several places where no one will find us. It is safe there. I will lead you through old underground passages that no one knows of. He looks at you with despair and hope. We can leave together now this very night. I do not want you to risk your life. I do not know, I need to think. This is too sudden. Of course, I'm not rushing you, but know this, I will always be near if you decide to. You sit in silence, his hand still clasps yours. The room falls quiet, only broken by your breathing. You know, I tried to be a good father, but I could not. Perhaps I truly am a terrible parent. I wanted to give him love, but he chose the darkness. You tried. That is no excuse, but I did everything I could to keep him from harming others. I do not know if it helped. I still ask myself what I did wrong. Trust the priest. I believe you, Emphys. I know you are a good man. He lifts his hand and tears appear in his eyes. His hand grips yours tighter. Thank you. You have no idea what this means to me. I carried this pain for so many years and no one wanted to listen. He sits closer and his hand touches your cheek. Fingers glide over your skin and you feel him tremble. I want you to understand, if you decide to flee, I will go with you. I know the way. Somewhere they will not find us, somewhere we can start anew. Would you leave everything? Your chapel, your duties. Everything for you. I realize that all these years I have not been serving God but hope. And you are my hope. Aww, that's so cute. He draws you closer and your forehead's touch. You feel his breath on your lips. But I must ask something of you. If we go, take me with you. I do not want to be alone. I do not want to lose someone dear to me again. Emphys, I know it is selfish, but I cannot endure loss again. I do not want to lose you. You feel his arms embrace you, drawing you close. His breathing deepens, strokes your hair and you feel his cold fingers. Pushes you down and leans over you, bracing on his hands. His face is very close and you see emotions raging in his eyes. I want to be with you. Let me be with you, if only tonight. You feel his trembling, his icy fingers slide over your wrist and he intertwines them with yours. Are you sure you're not a vampire? Why are you so cold and why do you kind of have canines? Emphys, I am afraid. Do not be afraid. I will not hurt you. I will never cause you pain. His lips brush your shoulder and you feel him tremble. Kisses your neck almost reverently. You close your eyes, feeling his arms wrap around you and pulling you close. Have you felt this way before? It was. And I do not regret those feelings, but my beloved died and I do not wish to relive that again. I cannot lose another person, yet I know it will happen sooner or later. People are granted so little time. I do not understand. What do you mean? I cannot tell you everything now. It is too painful. But I want you to think about my words, and I feel this world would take you as if it took her. He pulls away and his voice turns serious. Forgive me for being so sudden. I need time and so do you. He rises and you see his eyes glistening in the darkness. Forget what I said. Go to sleep. Tomorrow is a new day. He walks to the window and stops without turning around. I will wait by the chapel. If not, I will understand. He disappears into the night, leaving you bewildered. You sit for a long time digesting his words, his confession, his pain. All of it mingles with your own feelings. You look at the window, and it feels as though you can still feel his touch. Fatigue takes its toll and you sink into sleep. His was so bittersweet. My god. I actually really loved his ending. I'm gonna be honest, Priest Emphys really grew on me. I still really like Aurelian and Nail, but like, my god, Emphys? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, let's come back here and ask why his faith was fading. Why'd you lose faith in people, Emphys? He sighs and his shoulders sag. He releases your hand and runs his palm over his face. It is a long story. I tried to seek the best in people, but each time I found only disappointment. At first I thought it was mere chance, but over time I understood that the world is cruel, and people rarely change. Tell me, my adopted son. I thought I could save him. I went searching, hoping to bring him back into the light. But when I found him, I realized he had to become a monster. He had become a monster. He inflicted pain and I could not stop him. His voice trembles and he clenches his fist. I returned here because it was my duty, but I felt empty. Until I met you, you gave me back my hope. You made me believe there is still something worth living for. He sat in silence, his hand still clasped yours. The room falls quiet, broken only by your breathing. You tried, and that is no excuse. I did everything I could to keep him from harming others. I do not know if it helped. I still ask myself what I did wrong. Do you not trust him? I don't know if I can trust you. Behind the mask of a holy father, a skilled manipulator may be hiding. Do you truly think so? I want to believe, but I am afraid of being wrong. I understand. After everything you've been through, trust comes hard. He stands, his shoulders slump, his voice grows quieter. I'm sorry. I will not insist. I'd rather die than let you suffer. He heads towards the window and stops. Good night, Yinny. I'll pray for you, even if you do not believe in my prayers. He leaves, leaving you alone. Oh, that one's so sad. Alright, let's go back and do the night's scenes now. But yes, instead of going to the right, which goes to the Jester, or to the left, which goes to Mortalis, we shall go back into the throne room. You return to the throne room, hoping to find a little more silence and peace here. The columns stretch upwards, fading into the semi-darkness. Not a soul. Only the throne in the distance. You take a few steps, gazing at the whimsical flower chandeliers under the ceiling, when suddenly you hear heavy footsteps behind you. Turning around, you see a tall figure in full armor. Who are you and why are you wandering in the throne room without permission? Sorry, I don't yet know where I'm allowed to go. We just spoke with the king and the priest and we talked about the wedding. The wedding? Are you the bride? I suppose so. My name is Yinny. I'm bad at navigating the castle and I don't know where I'm allowed to go. Sorry if I broke the rules. I'm Lorkan, the king's guard. I'm sorry if I was rude. Strangers are not allowed in the throne room, but you are not a stranger. Nice to meet you. Lorkan, could you tell me where I can be alone to think without anyone disturbing me? You shouldn't address me formally, but in your chambers, your highness, and here I am on duty. Maybe you know how I ended up here. No one explains it properly. Your highness, please address me informally. Alright, so do you know how I ended up here? I only know what I saw. Last night the convoy arrived. You were sleeping in the carriage. You were given a calming poppy decoction to make the journey easier. The servants carried you to the chambers. Where was I brought from? Where was I even taken? I don't know. King didn't tell me. I only heard that he had been choosing a bride for a long time, sending an offer. And when Aurelian received your consent, we immediately broke off the campaign and hurried back. King was in a great hurry to make it for your arrival. So it seems like consent was given, but I don't remember giving it to anyone. That's not my concern. My concern is to guard and follow orders. Hey, what the hell? Why are you in a helmet? It must be hard to breathe with the visor down. This isn't a battle. It must be hard to breathe with the visor down. Lorkan touches his helmet, checking if it's in place. Your highness, please address me informally. I'm used to it. It is no trouble for me. Helmet is part of my duty. It reminds me that I'm always ready for battle and always loyal to the king. Where does such loyalty come from even when the king is not near? The king gave me a name, a purpose, a family and a routine. Now every day of mine is scheduled by the hour. And what does your routine consist of? Rising before the morning, the candles are lit. An hour of sword training, then breakfast, only meat and warm water with wine. The inspection of the guards. Patrol of the walls, reports. At noon, sparring begins with the recruits so they don't forget they came to serve, not to eat porridge. Then patrolling the corridors. In the evening, another training session. And night duty outside the king's chambers. And never any deviations? Never. Only when I need to accompany the king on important trips and receptions. What do you do in your free time if you have any? There is almost no free time, but sometimes I go to the stables. Watch the horses. They don't ask questions, but they munch on hay and carrots. He falls silent as if he said too much. Do you like animals? I suppose so. I recently saw a squirrel in the yard, grey and so fat. It was looking at me. I stood there for half an hour, not moving, afraid to scare it away. Then I realized I missed training. But that is also service. Animals are part of the castle. Their condition shows if everything is in order. Sickness, restlessness, sometimes the first signs of danger. You're just making excuses. I'm fulfilling my duty even when I watch squirrels. Nothing. You have the right to ask, but not everything need to be analyzed. Do you have a family? A girlfriend or a wife? Is someone waiting for you? No, I'm no one. Only duty and the king. He's like a brother and father to me. But you're human. You need warmth and care. I don't know how to act when someone tries to talk to me about something other than my duties. It is unfamiliar. In an ordinary situation, I might be embarrassed, but you are now part of the king's family, therefore part of my family. Thank you, I'm glad. I'm glad you're here, that the king found such a person as you. Why do you consider the king a brother and father? You aren't relatives, where does such attachment come from? I don't remember much about my life before I woke up in the infirmary. My mother's face and my father's, even my own name was erased. All that's left is fear and the feeling that I lost something important. Aurelian didn't abandon me. He restored my memory piece by piece. Told me who I was, spoke of my family, my home, some stories I repeated to myself at night so as not to forget. Did he know you before? He found me among the dead. I don't remember that battle, the king does. He said my time had not yet come. He took care of me when I couldn't even fasten the buckle on my armor. Taught me to read and write again. He protected me until I recovered. I swore an oath not out of a sense of duty, but because he is kind, just. Though few understand it, he is strict, but everything he does for others. To follow such a man, it pleases me, even when it is hard. He asked about warmth and care. I don't know how to ask, but the king gave them to me. Even when I didn't understand I needed them. That is why Aurelian is my brother, father and mentor. So it seems soon you and I will also be family. Yes, I'm glad of it. A pause hangs in the empty hall. You look at Lorkan's visor. You know, Lorkan, everything here seems foreign to me. I don't know if I want the wedding, I don't understand the laws. You must not be afraid. The king, though he may seem stern, will be a wonderful spouse. He searched long for a person like you. I am also glad that a person such as you now is part of my duties. I will guard you as I do to the king himself. Thank you. I feel a bit better already. Lorkan shuffles in place, shifting from foot to foot. Seems he wants to add something but hesitates. I wanted to say, if you were scared, then you can imagine that these walls are just a pot. In it you are not alone, you are floating. Potatoes and carrots and some vegetables can even protect you. Are you talking about yourself now? Yes, I am a vegetable. No. I meant all guards in general, but about myself as well. Suddenly his clumsiness seems so sincere to you that you can't help but smile in a quiet laugh. Lorkan, are you trying to console me? You have a very peculiar way. I don't know how to be different, I'm sorry. Don't apologize, it really made me feel better. Thank you. Listen, I have a request. The next time we speak, please take off your helmet. Not now, but later. I want to see your face. Lorkan freezes, the silence stretches on. I agree, but only in private. And I warn you, under the helmet my face is ugly. You might be scared. I won't be scared, I promise. The next time, if you haven't changed your mind. He adjusts his helmet, as if hiding his face already. The feast will begin soon. You must not be late, the king does not like to wait. I'll escort you to the hall. Lorkan extends his hand to you. It trembles slightly, you can feel it even through the armor. Good, let's go. You barely... Alright. So we finish his introduction scene, the maids are back. Let us skip to the ball. Alright, speak with the knight. You're here again, your highness. I didn't think you'd want to speak with me. People usually avoid me. You look well. The feast suits you. He says it as if unsure he's saying the right thing. You decide to lighten the mood and want to tell about a new acquaintance of one of the castle's inhabitants. Tell him about meeting the Silent Knight. Today I met a knight, very taciturn. At first, it seemed he didn't want to talk to me, but I managed to get a few words out of him. Didn't want to talk to you? That's rude. I can tell him how to address your highness. May I ask who it was? Do you remember the name? Oh no, I think I'm talking about him. Let me think. His name is Lorkan. I don't know anyone named Lorkan. Maybe I'll remember something similar. You truly don't know anyone named Lorkan? I don't know, truly. You don't know yourself? I can't be acquainted with myself. I can't talk to myself and... Oh, the joke finally landed. He's so cute. I love how he's like a big scary knight, but really he's just silly. He turns his helmeted head to the side and you sense he's both pleased and uncomfortable. Tell him about meeting the priest Emphys. I spoke with the priest Emphys, a very calm and kind man. He told me about flowers. We have a garden. He turns to the plants. Gentleness helps him with flowers, but with people he can be soft, like a pillow. So gentleness isn't needed here. Gentleness is needed, but not when someone comes at you with a sword. Emphys heals souls and I must protect bodies. We seldom speak. Is he easy to get along with? We don't quarrel. That is enough. I think you should learn from him to be gentle sometimes. I'm sometimes soft when I sleep. My whole body relaxes and goes limp. Isn't it the same for you? I don't even know how to respond to that. Tell him about meeting King Aurelian. I managed to talk to the king just a little, but he seemed tired. The king was tired after a long journey. We were hunting something, but I didn't understand what. Were you hunting? Most likely, I don't remember. Do you often forget such things? I've been fine since Aurelian healed me. Healed from what? Memory loss. You could say that. I owe my life. Tell me more if it's not a secret. I was wounded. The king healed me. I remember nothing of who I was. Not my mother's name, not my father's. Aurelian told me who I was and what I did. What I liked to do and what I ate, how I lived and what I thought. You still don't remember your family. Aurelian is my family. He has been my father, brother, and teacher for as long as I can remember. And that is touching. Tell about meeting the maids. So far I managed to exchange a few words with the maids, very caring but chatty. They know everything that happens in the castle, but they don't bother me. One of them sometimes brings me water when I'm on duty. Are you lonely, Lorkan? I'm my duty and the king and now you, so I'm not alone. It is nice to hear that. I never thought I'd say this, but it is nice to have someone near who isn't afraid to talk to me. Tell me about one of the guests. The most worthy one here is King Aurelian. I would give my life for him. He's like an older brother to me, the one I never had. Why do you feel that way about him? Aurelian saved me. When I woke up in the infirmary and remembered nothing, not my name, not my past, he sat beside me. Told me who I was, taught me everything I knew. Without him I'd be no one. Have you never doubted him? Sometimes I doubt. I feel he knows more about me than he says, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what he does now. He's a good man. He may say little, but he does more than all of us combined. Is there anyone else you care about? Or on the contrary, someone who bothers you? There is one, the Scribe Mortalis. He irritates me. He has one eye, but he looks at me as if he can see right through me. As if he's searching for something or someone. Maybe he knew you before. Perhaps. But I don't want to know who I was. I don't remember that man, and I feel that if I find out, I'll stop liking myself. He pauses and adds more quietly. You know, I noticed something strange. The king and Mortalis have eyes of a similar color. I thought they might be connected somehow, but then I noticed the Jester Nail has the same ones and I felt better. Mine are red. Everyone says it's always been that way, even before I lost my memory. Is that why you wear the helmet, because of your eyes? Yes, people are frightened by my red eyes. That's why I wear the helmet, so I don't have to look them in the eyes and so they don't have to look at the huge scar on my face. And how do you feel about the Jester? Jester, he is strange, but one day he helped me. Told me where to find the cat that gone missing. Since then, I've been more tolerant of him, but I don't like his jokes about the king. Well, your highness, I wouldn't dare keep you. There are many more agreeable conversation partners here. He bows his head slightly and returns to the wall. No, I want to keep talking to him. Yeah. What do you usually do? How's your day go? My day's simple. I rise before the morning, the candles are lit. I inspect my armor, check my weapons, and go to the king and stand guard. Sometimes I train the recruits, they fear me, but that is good. Fear instills discipline. I eat, train, and sleep. And what do you do when the king rests? I stand guard, I make rounds, I watch the creatures. You watch the creatures? Do you like animals? I'm indifferent to them, I just like watching them be well fed. If the animals are plump, that means there is no crisis. To prevent a crisis, I feed the squirrels by the castle walls, they're all fat and happy now. Well, your highness, continue the conversation. Do feasts like this happen often here? Feasts are rare, the king doesn't like noise, neither do I. Then why are you here? Because the king is here and you. My duty is to protect the monarch, especially with drunk guests about. Why are you still wearing the... Would you like to sit down? You've been on your feet this whole time. I can't, I'm on duty, but your care. I'll remember it. Take care of yourself, Lorkan. I always take care of myself. Otherwise, who would take care of the king? Don't you think work doesn't replace real human interaction? Maybe, but I've grown unaccustomed. People around either fear me or ignore me, but you... You're not afraid, it is unusual. Like that time I saw a little fox by the stables. It was scared at first, but then it got used to me. Are you comparing me to a little fox? No, I mean, maybe, but in a good way. The little fox was cute and you are too. Sorry, I'm no good at compliments. But when you are near, it gets easier. I don't know why. Continue the dialogue. By the way, how do you like the refreshments? Have you tried anything? Honestly, I didn't dare. Understand, I don't eat or drink in public either, only in a safe place. Are you warning me? Not exactly, just once I ate meat at a feast and it was spoiled. I had stomachache for 3 days, since then I only take food from cooks I know. Sounds like a lesson. The lesson is trust your stomach, not others' smiles. Cooks can harm, but not out of malice, out of foolishness. And foolishness, it's more dangerous than ill intent, at least that's how it seems to me. You're a philosopher, Lorkan. Comes from standing guard so often. When you spend a long time by the wall, you start thinking about all sorts of things. Like why squirrels always hide their nuts in the same hollow. And why is that? I don't know. But I notice that if you hang the feeder higher, they still climb to the old spot. Stubborn like me. He lets out a sound like a short chuckle, but grows embarrassed at once. Anyway, eat and drink the wine. Or if you want it later, I'll bring you food later to a safe place. You decide you socialize enough and make your way back to the table. Suddenly all the oil lamps in the hall go out. Complete darkness. You gasp, the clang of a fallen goblet is heard, along with someone's frightened shriek. You decide you socialize enough and make your way back to the table. Alright, well, that ends his ballroom chat scene. And then you come back to your room and think of Lorkan before you get his nighttime scene, and then the bedroom scene. And among all these faces, one surfaces the most often. The night Lorkan. His helmet, his silence. He barely spoke, but every word of his carried weight. You feel that behind the silence hides a man who fears himself. His loyalty to the king is not just duty, it's a way to survive. And you want to know what he's hiding. He promised to take off his helmet if you were alone, and for some reason you believe him. You sigh, pushing the thoughts away. Too many questions, too few answers. And then the maids come in. But this time, we shall go and find him. Let's go in here. You walk down a dark corridor. Silence is broken only by your footsteps. There he is. It's wild that he can look like that, because he's always just seems so gentle and kind. Suddenly in the distance you notice a shadow. It is still and seems to be staring directly at you. Your heart begins to beat faster. You freeze for a moment trying to understand what it is. The shadows draw nearer. You hear footsteps, heavy and deliberate. Right, we freeze. It's Sir Lorkan. You step into the inner courtyard and hear the familiar clang of metal. In the moonlight, Sir Lorkan trains with a sword. His movements are precise and relentless, yet fatigue lingers in them. You are not sleeping. The evening candles have long since burned out. You must rest. And you, training in the middle of the night, you are not sleeping either. Sleep will not come, and the sword helps me distract from my thoughts. He sets the sword aside and takes a step towards you. Through the visor, you feel his gaze, warm and troubled. Something happened. You look sad. I can see it even in the darkness. I cannot sleep. Too many thoughts, too many questions. What are you thinking about? Perhaps I can help. About today, about the king. About the fact that he called off the ritual. Called off? I did not know. The king rarely changes his plans. He must have strong reasons. He said I needed rest, but I feel that is not the whole truth. I think he is hiding something. I do not know what drives the king, but I know he will not do this without reason. Perhaps he wants to protect you from something that might be dangerous. You fall silent, gazing at the moon. The silence feels thick yet not burdensome. Lorkan, I want to ask you something. What is it? Anything within my power I will do for you. Take off your helmet, please. It is easier for me to speak when I can see the face of the one I am talking to, and I want to see you. He freezes for a moment, then slowly raises his hands and removes his helmet. He's so cute. Oh my god. What the hell? Why would you call yourself ugly? Oh, he's such a darling. You see his face. Tired yet handsome. Red eyes that now look at you with uncertainty. Light hair tousled from training and a scar crossing his cheek. I warned you I am not handsome. Lies! Do not be frightened. I know my eyes. They frighten people. You do not frighten me. You are handsome, Lorkan, and I am glad you took off your helmet. You reach out and gently touch his cheek, tracing the scar with your finger. Oh my god, he's so cute. Oh, I love him. He flinches but does not pull away. Your Highness, I do not know what to say. You do not have to say anything. Just let me stay by your side. You do not frighten me. I do not know what to say. No one has ever said such words to me. Usually people look away or whisper behind my back. I say it because it is the truth. Thank you. I do not know how to respond to such words, but it pleases me. Never mind. He covers your hand with his and you feel his warmth. He sits down on the stone bench and you sit beside him. His hand still touches yours, and you feel his fingers trembling slightly. I do not want you to think I am afraid of you, but with you I feel different. My knees tremble and... You're not weak, you are strong, and you have the right to feel. Thank you, I suppose. I train a lot. Lorkan, I am afraid. Afraid of what tomorrow will bring, afraid that everything will fall apart. I understand. I am also afraid, but I am not afraid of what might happen. I'm afraid of what I might remember. What do you mean? My past. I know I have changed greatly. I do not remember who I was, but sometimes I dream. Strange, dark dreams. His voice grows quieter and he squeezes your hand. I feel that the king may have embellished the truth about my past. What if I was a bad person? What if remembering makes me stop being who I am now? Are you afraid that the truth will destroy you? I am afraid it will destroy what I feel now. I do not want to lose this. I'm not afraid of your past. I believe you're a good person and I see you now. You do not know what might be there. If I was a monster, you would turn away from me. I will not turn away. I know you as you are now and that is what matters. You're too kind to me. But I hope I can be worthy of your faith. His eyes meet yours and you see tears in them. He turns to you and his red eyes meet yours. I do not know if I have felt this before. It is a strange feeling. When you are near, I want to be better. When you are far, I want you back. What do you feel, Lorkan? I do not know what to call it. It is like a fire inside. As if I cannot breathe when you smile, and I am angry at myself for it and at the king. Why at the king? Because he is near you and I do not want you near each other. I do not like it and I do not understand why. And you are jealous, Lorkan. That is called jealousy. Jealous. I do not know what that is, but I feel that I want to be near you and that frightens me. Oh, it is normal. It means I matter to you. Mattering. You are more than just someone who matters to me. You are everything. I think of you even when I train. That's so sweet. Oh my god, he's so cute. I'm having such a hard time deciding my favorite love interest. He falls silent and you feel his fingers intertwine with yours. His breathing grows deeper. If you were not the king's betrothed, I would ask that you stay with me forever. I would leave this castle with you. Would you leave? I would go to the ends of the earth because with you I feel alive. He leans in, his lips nearly brushing your hand. Lorkan. Forgive me, I'm taking too many liberties, but I cannot help myself. He pauses and rises. I must go. There is a morning patrol tomorrow and training. I cannot miss it. Are you leaving? I must. But I want you to know I will protect you. At any time, day or night, even if I have to defy the whole world. He puts his helmet back on and turns to you. Good night, Your Highness. And thank you for this conversation, for existing. You nod and he disappears into the darkness, leaving you in the courtyard. You feel his words settled in your soul, stirring both warmth and unease at once. You look at the moon and realize this night has changed something within you. God, that was such a wonderful scene. Oh my god. He is so pretty. I am in actual awe at how gorgeous he is. Holy crap. And I love his personality. I love how the big gruff knight personality, like the big gruff knight stereotype, is actually subverted with like someone who's like dorky and soft and sweet. Alright, when he climbs into the room, let's bonk him on the noggin. You raise the candlestick and strike the emerging head with all your might. A dull thud and a groan rings out. The man falls to the floor, clutching his head. You look at him and freeze. No, take the helmet back off. So Lorkan stands by the window holding his helmet, which got knocked askew by the impact. He takes it off and you see him stifling a smile. I didn't expect such a welcome. Forgive me for barging in without asking. He adjusts his armor and takes a step forward. Next time I'll knock or at least shout that it's me. Lorkan, what are you doing here? I wanted to make sure you were alright and... He steps closer, his voice growing quieter. I just wanted to see you once more before sleep. I don't know why, but I couldn't sleep thinking of you. It's silly, isn't it? Oh my god. No, it's not foolish. I couldn't sleep either. I don't understand what's happening to me. I should be at my post guarding the castle, but I'm here before you like a lost boy. He runs a hand through his fair hair and looks at you. What do you feel, Lorkan? I feel that the thought of you becoming the king's wife in 2 days is unbearable. I know it is wrong, but I don't want it. His voice trembles. I can't get the image out of my head. Standing outside the bedroom door on the wedding night, hearing your voices. It tears me apart inside. He clenches his fist and you see his shoulders tense. I know the king is like a brother to me, but these thoughts make me weak. I should be strong, but I just can't. You feel his pain. He stands before you emotionally bare and you understand that he's waiting for your word. Alright, we'll tell him this time and then we'll trust him. Lorkan, I have something to tell you. Tonight, I overheard a conversation among the conspirators. They said someone will die at the wedding. Lorkan lifts his head and his red eyes grow serious. A conspiracy, are you certain? I heard it with my own ears. I'll speak with the king. I'll ask for a postponement, but he rarely changes his plans. Still, he has cancelled the ritual today, so even he senses that something is wrong. What if the king himself wants to kill me for some ritual? No, that's absurd. The king would never do such a thing. He is no villain. He is like a father to me. Then why are you so worried about me? Why not about him? Lorkan freezes, his gaze turns bewildered. I don't know. I should have been thinking of him, but my thoughts are filled with you. Forgive me, I can't explain it. I can. It's because you're in love with me. He takes a step back, and his voice grows quieter. I'll think of something. I'll reinforce the guard. No one will harm you. Silence hangs in the room. Lorkan looks at you, and you see a whole world of feelings warring in his eyes. Oh, to be a handsome knight in love with the king's fiancé. Lorkan, are you in love with the king? Is that why you're so troubled? Yay! No, you dumb bitch. He's in love with you. No, I'm not in love with him. I start to feel angry at him when I imagine him holding you. I don't understand it myself. At first I thought it was happiness for him, but now it feels like a loss. He falls silent and you see his hands trembling. He looks so sad. Let's try and calm him down first. Lorkan, listen to me. You shouldn't blame yourself for your feelings. It's normal. You take a step towards him and he flinches. Normal. I'm supposed to protect you and instead I feel things I shouldn't. I fail both you and the king. Oh, this is so spicy. Oh my god. On yearning and on his knees? Oh my god. God, he's trying to kill me. He falls to his knees before you and embraces your legs. Good god. I beg you, say something that will make me stop feeling. Tell me I'm unworthy, that I'm pathetic. Humiliate me so I'm ashamed to look your way. I'm gonna be honest, this is really doing it for me. Oh, I love him. You feel his tears on your skin. I can't. You don't deserve such humiliation. He shifts his head, his red eyes gaze at you with despair. Then I'll say it myself. I love you. I love you more than my honor, more than my life, and I know it's betrayal, but I can't fight it. You kneel beside him and your faces are level with each other. You feel his breath hot and ragged. His arms still embrace your waist, his fingers gripping the fabric of your dress as though he's afraid to let go. Lorkan, I don't know what I feel, but I know you were dear to me. He raises his hand and touches your cheek. His palm is rough but gentle. Tell me this is wrong. Tell me I should leave and I'll obey. I don't want you to leave. Oh my god. Oh my god. Every love interest I experience is better than the last one. I'm like losing my mind. He's so wonderfully like yearny. I don't know how to handle it. Then let me stay. At least for this one night just to be near you. Like we're about to marry the king tomorrow. And his closest Kingsguard is on his knees in our room at midnight, confessing his love. And obviously I love him back. You feel his fingers slide down your back, pulling you closer. His forehead touches yours and you feel his shiver. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow will be tomorrow, but right now I want to remember this. To remember you as you are now. His lips draw near to yours. They almost touch and you feel his breath against your lips. Will you let me? Your heart is beating so loudly it seems the whole castle can hear it. Will you let me? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. His breathing grows deeper, but he doesn't kiss you. Instead, his forehead rests against yours and you feel him trembling. His hand slides to your neck, fingers tangling in your hair, and he pulls you closer until your bodies meet. He trails his nose along your cheek, breathes in your scent, and his breathing grows uneven. I want to remember this. How you smell, how you breathe, I'll think of it every day until we meet again. Lorkan. His fingers stroke your hair and you feel him grow calm, pressing against you. You have no idea how much this moment means to me. At last he rises and helps you to your feet. I must go, but I'll return. You can always call for me. He puts on his helmet and heads for the window. Good night, my lady. Yeah, damn, I sure am your lady, alright. He vanishes until the night, leaving you with burning cheeks and trembling hands. You sit on the bed for a long time processing his words. His despair, his love. It all mingles with your feelings. You look at the window and it feels as though you can still feel his touch. Fatigue overtakes you and you sink into sleep. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was everything. That ending was so good. Okay, let's do the other branch. Ask why he's troubled by the wedding night. Why does the wedding night bother you so much? It's just tradition after all. Yes, why does me marrying your king bother you so much? I don't know. I know it's wrong, but I can't stop thinking about it. Every time I imagine you beside him, I feel suffocated. Are you jealous? I don't understand it. Before I was glad I'd have a new family, but now it feels like something important is being taken from me. Silence hangs in the room. Lorkan looks at you and you see a whole world of feelings warring in his eyes. Lorkan, are you in love with the king? Is that why you're so troubled? No, I'm not in love with him. I just start to feel angry when I imagine him holding you. I don't understand it myself at first. At first I thought it was happiness, but now it feels like a loss. The guards should be reinforced. I'll take care of everything. If you need extra guards, I'll arrange it. He pulls away and looks to the side, as if about to leave, but his shoulders are tense. You notice he's avoiding your gaze. Lorkan, you shouldn't worry so much. Everything will be fine. He freezes but doesn't turn around. I know I'm supposed to say that to you, but I can't make myself believe it. Every time I think of tomorrow, it turns my stomach. He slowly turns and you see his red eyes blazing in the darkness. I feel that if I look at you now, I won't be able to leave. I'll stay here and then I'll break every promise I made to the king. Jeez, good god. His voice breaks and he clenches his fists. Lorkan, you don't have to bear this alone. I can help. How? Can you tell me I'm not supposed to feel this way? Or that it'll pass. I know it's wrong, but I can't get rid of it. Alright, well I guess both of us will just have to run away. He takes a step forward and you feel his closeness. I want to protect you from everything. From the conspirators, from the king, from myself, but I know my feelings are betrayal and it tears me apart inside. His hand rises to touch your cheek, but he stops a hair's breadth from your skin. I can't. If I touch you, I won't be able to stop. He pulls his hand away and steps back. No, come back! I must leave. I'll reinforce the guard and post trusted men at your doors. No one will enter here without my knowledge. Lorkan, I'll do anything to protect you. Even if I have to give my life for it, just let me do my duty. He puts on his helmet and his voice grows muffled. He heads for the window but pauses for a moment and vanishes into the night, leaving you alone. Aww. You feel that he's gone, yet his presence still lingers in the room. You lie down on the bed and weariness slowly envelops you. You sit on the bed for a long time, processing his words, his despair, his love, and it all mingles with your own feelings. You look at the window and it feels as though you can still feel his touch. Fatigue overtakes you and you sink into sleep. Oh my god, Lorkan's route is so good. God, I love when like the big scary knight stereotype is just subverted. Because like inside he's so sweet and yearning and just like confused. Oh, I love him. Oh my god. I really don't know which love interest is like my favorite one. Alright, let's finish up with Mortalis' scenes before I give my review and analysis. But yeah, we've already gotten his intro scene because the king actually doesn't have an intro scene after you meet him in the throne room. So we'll focus on Mortalis' ballroom scene, second exploration, and the one where he shows up in the room. Alright, we are at the we're at the ballroom now. Let's speak with the scribe. I was starting to miss you. But it seems neither of us knows how to stay away from the other. The company of such a charming lady is the best thing that has happened at the feast today. Frankly, I'm tired of dull conversations and records. The feast was a great success. Only all these faces so alike and dreadfully unpleasant, but you, your highness, it stands out. It warms my soul and pleases my one good eye. By the way, have you gotten to know anyone closely yet? With you, Mortalis? Oh, I'm flattered, but I meant among those who are less handsome and dull in conversation. Your company is enough for me, and I'll try to be memorable. At least so you write about me in your memoirs later. It leans a little closer and you smell old leather and ink. Are you sure you'll like what I write? Any truth about me is better than lies about others. Tell me about one of the guests. The most curious one is the Jester. He is the only one who speaks unpleasant truths. I once tried to record his jokes about the king verbatim. There was so much truth about the ways of this place I burned the page, it frightened me. Are you afraid someone might find your records? I'm not afraid. I just prefer not to take risks, and Nail, he gets off scot-free every single time. Try to talk to him to find out where he's from, but he only jokes. Either a fool or a genius, I lean towards the former. You notice how intently he's thinking about something. Do you envy him? Envious, perhaps. He can do anything I cannot. But it's not anger, more like curiosity. How does he do it? How does he get away with everything? The scribe ponders, twirling a quill in his hand. Once I saw him throwing apples at drunken guests at the feast, literally. And no one took offense, everyone laughed. If I tried something like that, they'd beat me with sticks, but everyone applauded him. Maybe he just knows how to make people like him, or he knows how to make them forget they were lords a moment ago. That's a talent. Or magic, but magic doesn't exist, right? He chuckles at his own joke. And who was the most boring? The most boring, His Majesty Aurelian. Talking to him is like reading an empty book. His words are there, but the meaning is not. I could advise him on many things, but he doesn't ask and I don't impose. They say there are scars beneath the mask, but I think it's not about the scars. It's that he stopped seeing the world around him long ago. He doesn't understand what happens outside his shell, so he sits on the throne like a scarecrow. Everything around him crumbles like a house of cards. The scribe visibly droops. This clearly causes him great displeasure. And you? Would you like to be in his place? On the throne, heaven forbid. I'm sure I'd manage much better than... I want to write the truth, but without interference. That would be nice. If you wish to continue our conversation, simply turn around. I will always be near. Yes, let's continue. What do you usually do? How's your day go? I don't rise before noon. It's more interesting to work at night. And events often happen after sunset anyway. You mean the events of moaning? Yeah, that one? Those ones? And not a bad assumption. I like the way you think. All sorts. Sometimes guests are noisy, sometimes private meetings. It's never boring in the castle, especially when everyone thinks the others are asleep. He falls silent as if he said too much and adjusts his eye patch. But by day I study. I read old chronicles, learn politics and strategy. You know, I could rule this kingdom quite well if given the chance. You think so? Our knowledge, and more importantly, I know what people are capable of for power and money. True, my schedule is irregular. Sometimes nights are especially fruitful. Not for writing, but for personal observations. His face breaks into a dreamy smile, but he quickly shakes his head. Let's not dwell on that. I don't just collect gossip, I write stories. Real ones with intrigue and blood, and I sketch illustrations for them with my pen. Could I have a look sometime? In the tower, Your Highness. I will keep all my treasures there. Records and drawings. Come by and I will show you. He smiles again, this time mysteriously. But I warn you, some stories might shock you. I hope you enjoy stirring deep emotions. If you wish to continue our conversation, simply turn around. Do feasts like this happen often here? The king doesn't like to waste time on merriment, so once a month, no more. I usually sit in a corner and write down who's flirting with whom and who's plotting against whom. Tonight there is a reason to stay. His gaze sweeps the hall and lingers on you. Do you observe everyone? Observation is my job. Without it, my chronicles will be as empty as the heads of these lords. But today I noticed something else. You are wearing a new dress. It suits you very well, by the way. How do you know? Do you monitor the guest wardrobes? I saw it at the seamstress's yesterday. She was showing samples and I thought at once, this dress is too fine for an ordinary guest. You feel a single eye gliding over the fabric as it's studying every seam. Do you record outfits too? Only the memorable ones. And this dress, it will adorn my chronicle. If of course I decide to describe this evening. He turns and sweeps his gaze over the king's empty seat. Also, I notice the king slipped away again. Left all the guests with empty glasses and unfinished toast. Why hold the feast then? Not a good question. I'd ask him yourself if I were you. But maybe he just enjoys watching us have fun without him. His voice carries a caustic mockery, but quickly regains composure. You flatter me with your attention, Your Highness. Shall we continue? Continue the dialogue. By the way, how do you find the local fare? The cooks tried today, though I must admit I expected worse. Honestly, I didn't dare. Everything feels foreign. Understand? It can be unsettling, but I'd advise at least trying the bread. Our bakers make it and it's certainly not poisoned. Otherwise they'd be out of work themselves. What do you usually eat? Mushrooms, porridge, sometimes fish. Little luxury, but it's good for me. The main thing is that the ink is good. He pushes his notebook aside and leans closer. You're not eating, not drinking. Perhaps you seek something else, something not found on these tables. For example, a languid conversation by candlelight and the gentle warmth of a nearby companion. Oh, spicy. His voice grows quieter, almost a whisper. I can keep you company. Not only now in the tower, in silence when no one is watching. You have no idea how much one can learn when no one is watching, and how much I can offer you. He pulls back, but his gaze remains on you. Think about it. My door is unlocked. A lot of you are very bold to be flirting with the king's fiancé. Yes, how you socialize enough and make your way back to the table. And then we are in our room and we think of Mortalis. But among all these faces, one surfaces the most often. The Scribe Mortalis. His sharp tongue, his curious gaze, his secrets. He looks at the world like a book that must be read to the end. And you feel that he has already read a few pages about you. You're not sure you like it, but his words stir something inside. He said you are the main intrigue of this evening. And you don't know if that's a compliment or a warning, but he won't leave you be. You sigh, pushing the thoughts away. Too many questions, too few answers. Alright, let's go find him in the exploration section. Let's go down the middle this time. You walk down a dark corridor, the silence broken only by your footsteps. Suddenly in the distance you notice a shadow. It is still and seems to be staring directly at you. Wait, what the hell? Your heart begins to beat. You freeze for a moment trying to understand what it is. The shadow slowly approaches and you hear footsteps heavy and measured. You don't know if it is friend or foe. You must decide quickly. You freeze in place. Your feet feel as they are rooted to the floor. The shadow draws near, your heart pounds so loudly it seems to echo through the entire corridor. But when the figure steps into the light, you see familiar features. It is the Scribe Mortalis. Your Highness, I already thought you were a dream. And here you are in the flesh. I am just wandering the castle. I cannot sleep. All of this seems too strange. I knew it. Were you looking for me? Or did you simply wish to be among the books? They are, you know, worse company than I. I did not know I would come here. I would just want to distract myself. The library is peaceful. Peaceful? Here, every book holds a secret. I would not call it peaceful, but I understand what you mean. And what do you guard, Mortalis? I guard far too much. But for you, I am willing to open a few pages. Ooh. He steps back a pace, gesturing for you to walk between the shelves. Come, I will show you a book. It is about ancient rituals. Perhaps it will shed some light on your anxiety, or at least distract you. You follow him and he stops at an old cabinet, pulling out a worn tome covered in a layer of dust. When he returns, his gaze becomes intent. I notice you look rather unwell, and, to be honest, I know the king cancelled the ritual. Is that why you cannot sleep? Or is there something else? Yes, I don't understand why he did that. He said I need rest, but it sounds like a lie. I am afraid of tomorrow, afraid of what might happen. Then sit down. Let us talk, or at least be silent together. He sits down on the floor by a bookshelf, leaning his back against it and gestures for you to sit beside him. You sit down and he suddenly lowers his head onto your lap, closing his eyes. Imagine I am a cat. Just a cat who listens without judgment. Tell me what troubles you. I can purr if you like. Shush you. You are strange, Mortalis, but I like it. I am afraid everything will collapse tomorrow. I know, but if everything collapses, we will build something new. And I will be there to record that story, or to become part of it. Are you always so certain? No, but with you I want to be certain. You made me believe in what I long ago stopped believing in. His hand slides along your leg, coming to rest on your knee. You smell of warmth and fear. And of something else I cannot name. It drives me mad. He opens his eyes and looks at you, his gaze warm and tender. This all feels like the plot of a cheap roadside novel, right? A wedding, secrets and conspiracies. I could have come up with it myself as easy as anything. Do you think this is funny? No, that is sad. But if it is a novel, then you are surely the main character of a good one. Because I only fall in love with well-written characters. Your charms will not work on me. Do you say that to comfort me? I say it because it is the truth. And because you are the most interesting thing that has happened to me in years. Are you serious? I've never been more serious. I've fallen in love with you, Your Highness, and it is terrifying. Terrifying because I do not want to lose you, and terrifying because I have no right to want you. His hand rises to your face, fingers brushing your cheek. Are you just flirting or are you genuinely in love? Do you feel my hand trembling? It is not from the cold, it is from you. His hand touches your cheek and glides along your neck, stopping at your shoulder. His breathing grows deeper. You have no idea how much I want you to stay. But I know you should flee. Flee this castle before it is too late. Are you suggesting I run away? I offer you what I do not want. I do not want you to suffer. Even if I will miss you every night, I will just imagine you in every book I open. That's so romantic. He pulls you closer and you feel his breath upon your lips. I want you to remember, someone in this castle loves you with a real mad forbidden love. And even if you leave, that love will remain. His lips almost touch yours. At the last moment, he stands and pulls away. But these are just empty words. Perhaps the wine has clouded my mind, though I haven't drunk today. He stands, extending his hand to help you rise. His fingers linger on yours longer than necessary and he squeezes them firmly. Go, Your Highness, rest. Tomorrow will be a new day. Thank you, Mortalis, for listening. Always welcome. I love listening to beautiful voices, especially yours. He sees you to the door and closes it behind you. But you sense that he stands there long afterwards, forehead pressed against the wood. You walk down the corridor, feeling his words settle in your soul, leaving behind a heat and an unease. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, but one thing is clear. Mortalis has become more interesting to you. Oh, alright, let's get his room conversation. The noggin. You raise the candlestick and strike the emerging head with all your might. A dull thud and a groan ring out. The man falls to the floor, clutching his head. You look at him and freeze. The Scribe Mortalis sits on the floor, pressing his hand to his temple. His single eye looks at you with surprise and mild admiration. Damn, I never thought I'd be attacked in the bedchamber of the king's own bride. You do know how to surprise a man. He slowly rises, still smiling, but you notice him carefully touching the bruised spot. I deserve that. I should have knocked, or at least left a note or brought flowers to soften the blow. What do you want, Mortalis, and how'd you know where I was? I know many things. I know every corridor, every crack, every secret passage in this castle. You think your chambers are a fortress, but to me they're just another room I may visit. He steps closer and sits on the edge of the bed, gesturing for you to sit beside him. You sit and he turns to you, his eyes gleaming in the moonlight reflecting dark spots. But I'm not here to frighten you. I want to reassure you you look very troubled. Something is happening to you, I can see it in your eyes. What makes you say that? I study people all my life. Your hands tremble, you look at the door as if expecting someone to enter, and you lie awake. Though it is the dead of night, this is not mere insomnia, it is fear. He leans down and takes your hand in his, gently stroking it with his thumb, and came to brighten your solitude. Even if it cost me my head. You feel his warmth, his closeness, he doesn't look away. And you notice his breathing growing a little deeper. You are strange, Mortalis. Why would you risk yourself for me? Why, can you not guess? You are the most intriguing mystery in this castle. You appeared from nowhere, you are unafraid to ask questions. And you look at me as if you see something others do not. He brings your hand to his lips and kisses it, lingering against your skin. I want to know you. Every look, every word, it is like reading the most captivating book one I never wish to close. You flatter too much. Flattering. I'm merely speaking the truth. You're extraordinary and it saddens me that you will sit in Aurelian's golden cage. He will not appreciate your depth. He's too preoccupied with his mask and his wars. He leans closer and you feel his breath on your skin. Scent of ink and old paper mingles with the aroma of night's herbs. You need to leave before it's too late. I can help you. You hesitate, unsure whether to tell him what you overheard. Your heart pounds and his fingers still brush against your hand. Yeah, I will tell him. I heard the conspirators, they said someone would die at the wedding. Mortalis leans back and laughs, something dark flickers in his eyes, almost intrigued. Oh, that is rich. I was beneath your window and saw no one. You must have grown too anxious and mistook the wind for voices. Or perhaps you simply want me to rescue you. Okay, that is suspicious. Because remember how I initially thought that, like, the person conspiring down there was Mortalis? Because of the eyes? Because, like, the silhouette wasn't like the Jesters. And the king wouldn't be, you know, conspiring to kill someone at his own wedding. At least I think. And now this, when he's, like, denying it. But I heard clearly, they spoke of the wedding day. He leans towards you, his voice dropping low, his hand rests on your knee, fingers tightening slightly. If you are so afraid I can help you escape, then you certainly won't die at the wedding. It will ease my mind knowing you're safe. I do not want you to become yet another victim of this castle. How can you help? I know a pair of guards greedy for gold. Bribing them is no trouble, I'll negotiate and arrange everything. Trust me, I know how to deal with people. His fingers touch your chin, lifting your face so you meet his eyes. I will arrange everything, just say the word. Trust him. I trust you. Mortalis grins and in a single eye of fire kindles one you have never seen before. I shall take my advance now. He gently but insistently pushes you down and looms over you. Propped on his hands, his face is close. You feel his breath, the scent of ink and old paper mingled with the smell of herbs. You feel his knee brush against you and his hand settling on your waist. His lips find yours gently at first. Wow! I feel like this is the only one that actually kisses us properly, like on lips. Gently at first. As a savoring of rare wine, then the kiss deepens, growing more passionate. You feel his tongue glide across your lips, demanding a response. You answer and he pulls you closer, fingers gripping the fabric of your dress, and kisses you as if he wants to remember every moment and every breath you take. Then he pulls away. His voice breaks into a whisper full of desire and tension. I want you. I want you to feel every night, but I will not rush. You deserve more. His lips find yours again. You feel his fingers tangle in your hair, pulling you closer. You close your eyes, surrendering to the moment. The room grows hot, and you only hear the sound of his breathing and the beating of your own heart. And suddenly he freezes, listening. His body tenses as he lifts his head. Gosh, I hear footsteps. He abruptly pulls away and stands, straightening his clothes. His eyes still burn and his breath remains uneven. Forgive me, if we are caught, all will be lost. Think over my offer. I will come tomorrow when darkness falls. He quickly moves towards the window, but turns back for a moment, his voice turning almost pleading. You'll not regret it, I promise. He vanishes into the night, leaving you with a pounding heart, burning cheeks, and the feeling that you have just been teetering on the edge. Mortalis disappears into the night, leaving you alone. You sit on the bed for a long time, digesting his words, his flirtation, his offer. His sudden disappearance, all of it blends with your doubts. You don't know whom to trust. His touch is too real to be a lie. I don't know, he could just be really good at lying. You look at the window and it feels as though you can still feel his touch on your skin. Exhaustion takes its toll and you sink into sleep. Oh my god. I feel like Mortalis is so interesting to me. Because it could be like a betrayal storyline if he genuinely turns out to be the one conspiring under your window. But let's come back and pick the alternate options to get his second ending path. Ask how he intends to help. And how do you intend to help me? I have a few ways. There are a couple of guards who have owed me for a long time. They'll do anything for a bag of coins or for something else I know how to procure. He leans even closer, his voice growing softer, his breath brushing against your ear. But for my help, I want something in return. Just one kiss. If you trust me, I'll arrange everything. His hand slides down your back, stopping at your waist, and you feel his fingers tighten slightly, drawing you towards him. Are you serious? I'd never been more serious. I want you at least once. Then I'll do everything to set you free. Do not trust him. This is too strange. I cannot trust you. I offer you freedom and you hesitate. I do not know what you're after. Perhaps you're one of them. If I were a conspirator, I would have gotten rid of you long ago, yet here I am offering help or a trap. You're far too suspicious, but if someone truly plotted murder, the target would likely be someone more important. You have no power, no one needs you, and now, farewell. Damn! He heads to the window and stops, his voice turns colder. Think it over before it's too late. If you change your mind, come find me. Wow, he really switches up on you. He looks at you with regret, but the fire still plays in his gaze. If you do not come, I will understand. You're too good for this world. Mortalis disappears into the night, leaving you alone. Oh my god. And that is my full playthrough of My Fiancé is a Fiend. I hope you guys enjoyed that. God, you know when you just play one of those games that like set your heart on fire with the lore and the story and the characterization and everything? This is one of them. I'm so intrigued by the dark fantasy plot, and every single love interest is so interesting. I really want to find out as to why there's no sun. Was there really a shadow that swallowed the sun? Like, what happened? What is Aurelian's goal? Why is it that in the darkness, all of the love interests appear to look so bloodstained and evil, except for Aurelian himself? Is he really a bad person? Or should we be more aware of the other love interests, except for Lorkan, I think, unless he remembers his past, and that turns out to be not good. But I am so incredibly intrigued. The art is gorgeous. Animations added such a nice touch as well. I adore the sprite style and also the CG art style as well. Absolutely just very pretty. The color schemes and the art direction gave me a really big like kind of like Dark Souls vibes. And I absolutely adore FromSoft games. I love Dark Souls, I love Bloodborne, I love Elden Ring and Sekiro. So this really hits that vibe for me almost, in how like dark and dreary it looks. And it just complements the theme of the game so well. Questions I want answered so much. I want to find out about how the world is built and why things are the way they are. But I also just adore the love interest. Aurelian, I didn't expect to like him more than the Jester. Knew I was gonna come and like Aurelian was gonna be one of my top favorites along with the Jester. But like he really surprised me. Like he's so soft and yearning, and you can tell that something is deeply troubling him, something that he can't tell you. And I'm unsure as to whether he genuinely can't tell you, or if he's just lying and hiding things. And that just adds a whole other layer of intrigue, but he seems like he genuinely cares about you. I'm a bit about the fact he kind of just brought you here and you don't know why you're here, and we're getting conflicting information about it because Lorkan says that you agreed to it, but then in all the other routes you seem to remember that you never agreed to it, so I really need to figure out what happens there. Aurelian, you better not have done something terrible. At the moment, I'm not too sure who the Yandere love interest is because this has been tagged as Yandere, but I cannot wait to find out. Anyway, the Jester is surprisingly very interesting to me. He definitely embodies like qualities of like, you know, how Jesters usually are presented, But I really love the whole thing that like he really likes that you see him for himself and not just as a jester. I'm actually very excited to find out more about him. Like he seems very desperate to get you away. I just need to know why. He's also adorable. I think he's got one of my favorite designs. I like how there's like a bunch of different colors on him. I like that his red hair peeks out. I love the sharp teeth and everything. I'm still like hesitant to know if I can really trust him or not, but the king seems to allow him to operate rather freely, so maybe he might be trustworthy. But that mirror in his room though, the one that doesn't actually reflect anyone, I need to know more about that. Like, is that not actually a mirror at all? Is it just a doorway? Like, what is going on? But yeah, he's absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely romancing him as well. I mean, I'm gonna romance all of them, I think. I was very pleasantly surprised by Priest Emphys as well. I didn't realize that I would adore him so much, but I feel like he's definitely like your sad love interest. Like he's got like a really painful past. You can tell that he's burdened by something, but he seems really ready to love again. And yeah, he just feels really strongly about you. So I really want to know how our adventure is going to progress. Like for him to just so readily like, you know, stand by your side and be like, I want to take a risk, like I want to be with you. That's so intriguing to me. Yeah, he's also just really kind and like very caring. And you know, ultimately I do like men who are kind and caring. It's very sweet. But however, I think the love interest that really takes the cake for me and surprised me so much is Lorkan. I didn't realize, like one, Lorkan is cute as hell. I think he's like super handsome and really, really cute. Like definitely like, wow. When I saw it, I was like, oh my god. But his personality, I love when tropes are subverted. Because when you see a knight, you're just like, oh yeah, you know, like a big, gruff, scary knight who stands guard. But he's so soft and kind-hearted and like a little bit dorky and like somewhat unaware. And he's so in love with you. I feel like his relationship with you is gonna be so explosive. He loves the king, respects the king so much. And yet he's willing to risk everything just for a chance to be with you. If that doesn't seem delicious, I don't know what is. Like, I feel like there's gonna be so much drama with that, and I cannot wait to play his route. Same with Mortalis as well. He really surprised me because I thought he was just like a flirt and nothing more. But like, I'm really suspicious of him at the moment because when you try and tell him about the plot, he's like, oh, I was there. And then, you know, I didn't see anyone, maybe you imagined it. And I'm like, are you the one who is conspiring? Because when we got the death ending, like the premature death ending, the person who was killing us really regretted it. And for some reason, they kind of reminded me of Mortalis. I could be wrong entirely, but like, you know, at the moment, I'm very sus about him. But yeah, I love this game so much. Art, super pretty. Story is so intriguing. The characters are so incredibly unique and all their personalities as well. Cannot wait to find out what happens in day 2 and for the rest of the story. This was absolutely wonderful. I hope the dev feels super proud for creating this. This is gorgeous. Definitely putting it into my top 5 so this year. I highly recommend folks play this game. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me. I've basically gotten every scene, probably like a couple of dialogue options that I missed. So if you do want to check that out for yourselves, please feel free to click the link that I left in the description box below, and also feel free to leave the developer a kind comment as well if you guys really enjoyed the game. If you'd like to support me, my Patreon is linked down below as well. Supporting me is not mandatory, but it's very, very appreciated. Anyway, thank you so much as always, and until next time, take care.